Hi everyone. Hi everyone. You might be wondering, why is it dark right now? Why is everything dark? Chat, Carlo the stream scribe is in his house. We will have some point in animation, Gwen, don't worry. The stream scribe, by the way, Carlo, thank you for your resub! Carlo, 14 months. Sir, it feels like less and more at the same time. Feels like less and more at the same time. Guys, go check out the stream scribe. He's going to be doing beautiful letter art with us again today, as always. I love Mondays for this reason. Actually, Carlo, I'm going to quickly adjust our collab a little bit. The window is ever so slightly cut off, so we're going to quickly fix that. We are going to try guest star next week, chat, that new fancy feature. We just, there were some technological issues pre-stream today, so we didn't try it out today, but maybe next week we're going to try out that feature. But there we go, Carlo, you're all set now. Excellent. We have, chat, some exciting, I think exciting samples today. So, the pond water has been looking quite good. It's been warmer here. Of course, today's temperature totally tanked in terms of what it had been. But I got a couple of jars of pond water. Baby and Ilona and I went on a walk. And you should have seen, some people were definitely questioning what we were up to. Uh-oh, Jomio! Give me SciAnts streams. Jomio, sir. No. Jomio, how are you doing, Jomio? Jomio, wherefore art thou, Jomio? Deny thy father and refuse thy name as Jomio, welcome the heck in. How are you doing today, sir? Folks, if you like art, if you like beautiful accents and Greco-Roman gods, go check out the amazing, the breathtaking Jomio right now, folks. How you doing today, Jomio? Did you get snow? No, Scissor Man, no snow. I don't mean like a total temperature collapse. We just went Scissor Man from, it was like in the 80s, and then when we got up this morning, it was in the 30s. So it was quite a steep jump downwards. Winding after a busy day, sorting shop stuff. Ooh, is there a shop drop coming? Maybe you wouldn't have gotten such strange look if you didn't use the babe. That Bit Gamey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Bit Gamey. What was really weird today? We do the same walk that we do every day around the lake, right? And we're rounding the corner of the lake, and this woman comes up to the stroller, and she just starts reaching towards Ilona. And I'm like, I'm sorry, no. Like, I just straight up was like, no. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your goal is. I don't know if you're sick. Do not touch my child. And she just looks at me. This woman must have been in her 50s, 60s. And she just looks at me and she goes, my baby. I'm like, no, that's my child. And she just looks at me and she goes, my baby. And then just continues walking away. I'm like, all right, little one, it's time to go. It's time to go. So, yeah, I don't know what that was about. Y'all, I was,
You don't understand. You don't understand. If you understood, you wouldn't understand.
I was totally yikesing it up. Hello, Moramor chat. If you didn't already know, Moramor is a fellow Lego builder extraordinaire. Moramor is also an interviewer extraordinaire. We're actually going to be on Moramor's stream this weekend at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing a little bit of a sit-down chat with Moramor. So, folks, make sure to go follow the lovely and amazing in 2 seconds. More. How you doing, more? More interesting people walking the street. But Grimly, like, this hasn't been an issue before, and it was just very strange to see that. Did she leave a trail of candy? Optic nerve, strangely enough, no candy. No candy left behind. No, you rule, Carlo. Sir, I really love these pieces. We're gonna have to chat about maybe if I could get a hand on some of these pieces, sir. Very much enjoy that. Also, on top of that, make sure to follow the lovely and breathtaking Ios, who also snuck on in here. Ios, another one of our besties, very OG follows, Go follow both Ios and Lordy. Did I take... So, look, Scissorman. While this liquid looks delicious, I have not yet tasted it. I'll be totally honest with you. What I did was, we got 2 different collection sites. Same lake, but I did 2 things, and I want to show you all for these samples. It might end up mattering. Hi, Samuel. You did make it for Microscopy Monday. I'm just showing off some of our samples here. So, oh, and I cannot turn it. So best if I just use the overhead camera. So this is pond water. And there is getting a little bit of chroma key down here. There's some moss inside of this. And I don't know if y'all can tell, but there's a fair bit swimming around in here. Like a little, like you can see movement of little dots. So we've got a bunch of little creatures in there that are swimming around. For babies, I don't know, Scissor Man. We're going to check it out. There might be. There is stereotypic or classic movement.
What drink?
Thank you, Gwendolyn P. There is a stereotypical movement, Scissor Man, of baby mosquitoes. I'm not seeing that movement in this jar. Doesn't mean that we don't have any. But it seems like... I mean, we've actually had mosquitoes outside, so... I wouldn't be surprised if we found some. It had gotten cold for a little bit, but... Wrong one. Gwendolyn P. This other container, I did 2 things in here. One, it's more pond water, and there are some little critters visibly swimming around. The other thing I put in is some tree bark with some moss. Why did I do that? That's where we have gotten the tardigrades before. And so, in theory, if we have any tardigrades, they might be swimming around in this water source. There are definitely little creatures in here. The tardigrades I cannot see by eye. Unlike the others, they're far too clear and small to see just by the naked eye. So we'll have to microscope things to check them out. So, tree bark equals more... Like, Scissor Man, it's like putting... You know, cinnamon is just tree bark, right? Scissor Man? And so it's the same idea, right? It's just putting in some tree bark and making the beverage item more delicious and lovely, right? That's all it is. That's all it is. So, chat, where would y'all like to start today? Would y'all like to start with some pond water, and then we do some amber and move back to pond water? Or what order would y'all like to do today? Because the pond water samples we have, there's a fair amount of it. And I'm not saying we're going to go through this whole jar, but there's a lot of little creatures in here. And so that's something that we can go ahead and start with if y'all wanted to. We could do... Big Gamey so wise. Okay, we're just going to do a poll, chat, of where to start. And we can do... You can start with amber or pond water. And again, because we have 2 jars of pond water, I feel like it's going to be pretty diverse in terms of what we're going to find. Mainly because having the mosses that we've been looking at are where we've actually gotten the tardigrades. Hi, Medibs, first time chatter. Thought I should come check out as I got a random sub. Well, Medibs, welcome on in. My name is Balent. I am 1/3 of SciAnts streams. The other 2/3 are Lita and my lovely baby girl, baby Alona. And we are scientists and we do science streams here. There's a poll, Medibs, if you would like to check it out, of where to start. We have 2 kinds of samples that we're going to be looking at today under the microscope for Microscopy Mondays. We have pond water samples, and you can see there's little microorganisms swimming on around inside. So we'll put them under the microscope and see what we have. And then we have a second jar, actually. The second one has some moss in there, and I'm figuring there might be some tardigrades swimming around. And then we have ancient 30 million year old amber with insects. Yes, 30 million years old. I also have to move my daughter's pillow. That's her little pillow chair. Joe. She was such a good baby today. She was such a good baby. Medibs, I am around in a fair number of channels, my friend. I do love to hang out in the Twitchosphere. We also have Carlo, the stream scribe. He is gonna be above my head. He's in the top corner. He does live letter art, and he will be doing live letter art today. Perhaps there will be See, there you go. There he is. Hi, friends. Maybe he'll be doing some kind of custom piece for one of you all. Maybe he'll be doing something for the stream. We don't know, but we'll figure it out. Mick Zenith, hello, I'm finally here. My stomach. Ugh, I'm so sorry, Mick Zenith. I'm glad that it wasn't a stomach pain from like eating the wrong kind of food. I'm glad it was just being hungry, and now you feel better. And Jinx, Smikes, and Jomio, very nicely done. How's baby Luna? She is doing all right today. Yesterday she thought it'd be very funny to wake up at 6 in the morning, and not go back to sleep, and so we just hung out most of the day. And she thought to this morning it'd be like, oh, you know what's even funnier than 6 morning? Well, he did 6. She did 6:30 today, so it was a little bit less funny than yesterday, I suppose. Yeah. It was a pure ADHD hyperfocus all day. And not making time to eat. I get that, Mick Zenith. He said my name, Few. Who said... Wait, Smikes, I love your face. Who's Few? Who's the Fewiness? Smikes Aroni. Smikes Aroni. Chat, looking at the poll, it looks like Pond Water is currently winning. So let's go ahead and get set up. I'm going to jump over to the other chair. We'll start pulling some samples, getting them ready to go. And we'll start with one of these jars. I think we'll start with the more active one. Reason being is the one that's maybe has the tardigrades. It's a very much may or may not be visible. It may have been some crafting streams. Meds, we do a lot of our own artwork. So we are part of the Moco Made stream team, which is primarily an artist, makers, and crafters stream team. But they let us in somehow. How? I don't know how they let us in, but somehow they convinced us. We convinced them to let us in.
Who let the ants out? Let's go!
But we do art, do some animations, we do some silly willy stuff here.
You can't rush art.
And Med, since you have that gift sub, you can trigger any of these sounds if you want to introduce some chaos and or some gifts. All yours to have fun with. Even if there's no tardigrades, there is life, and that's amazing. That's true, Big Zenith, but I'm hoping that we find
Gucci
some tardigrades today. Everyone loves the tardigrades. I do too. Thank you for the dab, Jomio. Jomio, wherefore art thou, Jomio? Deny that, for I refuse thy name. Who's Jomio? Jomio. See, Jomio, I got you.
Yeah!
Alright. So, we are going to go ahead and get started. Indeed, Spikes. I'm just gonna clear off our glass dish. So what we there's no chaos here. There's absolutely never any chaos here. The band hammer, yes. So I was thinking about that one that you made, Stream Scribe. And that Banhammer's logo looks very much like the logo of West Ham United. I do wonder, because it's almost the exact same kind of logo. It just says "Let's go, you Irons." It's very similar to it. Down the Hammers. I hate the Hammers. Jomio, it's such a terrible club. I just can't stand anything about them, sir. Also, Jomio, how about that Spurs game? How about that Spurs game, Jomio? Yes, and Jomio, listen. I taught BitGamey yesterday about Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Hi, Nerdy Knots! Nerdy Knots, thank you for the lurkin', Nerdy Knots. I hope you're doing well today, Nerdy Knots. Alright. We talked about Zlatan Ibrahimovic. We had a whole learning session about it, Jomio.
It is forsaken and forgiven, NMD. You can be instead of our destroyer, our hero, NMD. Please help us as we conquer the universe.
Hold on, y'all. There we go. Sorry. Gotta fix the exposure. Oh, it was on the mod. Yes, Jomio. We had to learn about, It's very important that we learn about it. Hi, Caitlin Loves Music. Welcome in. We're doing all right, Nerdy Knots. Do you dislike them because... No. Bit Gamey, I have disliked West Ham United as long as I can remember. Science is the art of working out why your experiment did not work. It's not that it didn't work. It's that you got an answer different from what you expected. And so you get to learn more about the world and how it works. That's how I view it anyway. Big Gamey, they're usually the ownership are usually very terrible to their fans and refuse to invest in the club, and they have big dreams but never actually go for it. Hi DMX, welcome in. Didn't explain Zatan. See, Bit Gamey, look, Jomio knows. Jomio knows Bit Gamey. Jomio, I don't know if you've been watching the new season of Ted Lasso, but there is a character on the new season of Ted Lasso by the name of Zava, and he's 100%
You don't understand. You don't understand. If you understood, you wouldn't understand.
And it is hilarious. It is hilarious. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, indeed, Gwendolyn P. Alright. Let's also get some of the plant matter in here. We've got these tiny lily pads as well that I think are quite cool, that we can take a close look at. See what kind of life is going on there. Mic volume is quiet. Hold on, Spikes. That is strange. I have no idea what we changed. I'll try it now. Maybe it's a little bit better. Maybe a little better. Zava is the goat. There's a lot of goats out there, Gwendolyn P. Alright. We have a bunch of little creatures to look. Your volume... Smites! I think it was quiet. The sound triggers were on, but it seems fine. Thank you, Jomio. It seems like Smikes was just being a silly willy. But you're getting really quiet up in here. I'm so sorry. Is this better? Duh, it was just me. Okay, let's see what kind of creatures we have today. Ooh, look at that. There are a couple to already start with. Our lead detective on this front is the lovely Cliff Alistair McLean. Cliff is kind of the leading expert on all our creatures that we find. This here... Oh, that is cool. Look at that. It's in the pupil stage. The way you can tell it's in the pupil stage is oh. And we've lost it, but it's fine. It's fine. The way we can tell it's in the pupil stage is because of these side hairs. So those side hairs are usually representative of pupae of many different insect-like animals, or even insect-related as well. Those are called sphericals. Mixenith, those are again like the air catching apparatus for these animals, and it's not just this particular creature, but it's the same in fruit fly pupae. It's the same thing with all the organisms that you're likely to see. Of course, you can call them stalk seeds, but I just wanted to let you know. What is the little yellowish ball going back and forth along the center of it? So that looked like. So the cool thing now is, DMX, I figured out we've gotten the right setting to be able to catch videos, and I wish I would have caught one in video, but what we were seeing was filter feeding, which I think is really, really cool. What zoom? So Sam, this is a 20x right now, so 20 times magnified. So the base view of the microscope, so if we zoom all the way out, just for the sake of argument, so this is zoomed all the way out, and that is at a 7 times magnification. So this is just 7 times magnified. So there's a pre-built 10 times magnifier on the scope. And then as we zoom in closer, there's an additional magnification that we can do. And then we can digitally zoom in as well by just going like this. The digital zoom, though, I don't have a scale on. So we're just needing to figure out getting like rough estimates of how much of a zoom we have. So I think our little creature actually moved up here to the top corner. And you can see this is the joys of working with these animals because they're alive and they might be moving a lot. So we might have some difficulty. Hi, V! V, how are you doing? King Charles will fit under the dish, Mikes. The only catch is going to be getting him into the right focus. Because they, as we're wiggling around so much, it makes it difficult to catch things. Many kinds of science, geology, volcanology. There is nothing like standing on an active volcano, feeling the earth moving. I have never seen that, Matt Dibs. That sounds really cool. We do have a professor of volcanology who's here on Twitch. And she does active research on volcanoes. There we go. Actually, I'm going to do a little bit of a recording on that. Let's go ahead and get a video recording of this. So what you can see is you can see it breathing in here. That movement right there is it going and filter feeding. It's pretty stationary. There we go. There's some more of that filter feeding. It's fairly stationary. And that's, again, more reminiscent of the pupil stage. Who does research on volcanoes? Right above you, Nana Banana. We'll get a shout-out to Volcano Doc. Yeah, so, Samuel, this is... let's give her a shout-out real quick. This is the software that came with this one scope. So we have two scopes, Samuel. We have... this dissecting scope and a light microscope. The light microscope also has, unfortunately, a different software, which is very frustrating. Doesn't make any sense to me why there's two different softwares, but you know, it is what it is. The one thing we're looking at, really, Samuel, for an upgrade is a new camera to make things a little bit cleaner and the image a little bit crisper, because you can see at this higher zoom we're starting to get some pixelation. But let's go ahead and try to record again. Because I think with this lighting, it looks really cool. And you can see internal movement as well. And it just, I don't know, I think it looks really cool. Again, I'm not entirely sure which creature this is, just because it is in the pupil stage. And it's one where we've seen larval stage and we've seen adult stages, but I don't think we readily see these pupil ones. Looks like two beetles were trying to imitate a mixture of the sauropod and ostrich. So that, Cliff, my initial feeling that it was some flavor of ostracod, but what's throwing me off is, again, you see these hairs, and Mick Zenith pointed them out. Do you see the branching pattern here? I'll actually take a picture as well, because I think this is quite a nice angle and lighting that we're getting. And by the way, folks, if anyone's interested, all of these videos that we take and images will be uploaded onto the Discord after the stream, as always, under the microscopy section. So those the antlers, Mick Zenith, thank you for the analogy, are breathing tubes. So actually this creature is right on the surface of the water. We don't get any of the Y. Oh. We don't get... Hi, Far! Welcome on in there. Ahoy there. We don't get any of the Z-plane of, like, height in this kind of view, but they're right on top, and they are like snorkels. They're pulling in, looking at tiny worlds under a microscope. And John, we have been looking at this creature right here. It looked like some kind of, maybe an ostracod, like beetle hybrid something, but we haven't seen something like this before. And we're thinking what we might have in here.
Feetsies! Look at its little feetsies!
So those actually, John, are not feet. Those antlers, which again, Big Zenith, thank you for the analogy, are actually the breathing tubes. They're like snorkels. And so this creature is staying close to the top of the water in order to breathe. Hey, did someone call a pirate, a scientist, a mod, a scribe? Carlo, we love you always, Carlo. We always call you. It's like, who are you going to call? The Carlo time. Must be an ostracod naples, a larva. Really, Cliff? I'm surprised that it's in the larval state. Only, again, because of those hairs. Those hairs, to me, tend to be indicative of the pupal state. But I wonder... So one possibility, Cliff, is that it's an L3. So the later larval stages do start to form those hairs. So I wonder if we're looking at a late stage in larval development. Many years ago, my brother used to write music for free for the Free Space Project, the fan rewrite of the game. Oh, it's really cool, Ahmed. What kind of music is it? Scribe does what... No. Carlo does whatever Carlo wants to do. Does what Irish John says. Whatever Irish John says. Whatever Irish John says. Jern, yes. Look, Carlo. We are all crewmates to Irish John. Right, Carlo? Without Jern, we have no captain. And a ship without a captain is like a ship without a rudder. We have nowhere to go, and we make nowhere in life. So, chat, go follow Irish John. Otherwise, we really are nothing. Okay, wow. It is an ostracod. Cliff with the data hitting us. Let's see. I wonder, this looks like maybe a lifespan look. I guess that's the egg. Or no, this is like the adult stage. So here we have the adult, and then this image here. I can see it. Hold on, Cliff. And we'll zoom in. Yeah. The hairs look a little bit more settled in ours and a little bit straighter. Uh-oh, the queue is closed, Chad. Chad, the queue is closed tonight. Chad, the queue is closed tonight. Carlo is going to be making possibly something. We present, rather, a custom request for your host. Oh, Gwen, if you're here, Gwen, Carlo's going to be making something that is 100% going to make you smile. And see, Cliff, this to me, Alistair McLean, oh, she's gone. She was here for a split second. That one that just swam on screen looked much more like that ostracod larva reference. Never not be in all of both the micro universes we are witness to and the macro universe we occupy. All we occupy. I know, McZenith, I love microscopy for that reason. The tiny world examination you can never get sick of, I feel. I never feel you can get sick of. Chat, also, our friend Tubby Crumbles just snuck on in here. Folks, make sure to go follow Tubby Crumbles. Another amazing game dev extraordinaire. Love your face, Tubby Crumbles.
Gucci.
Alrighty. Deep breath. Uh-oh. Alright, here's a nice little snapshot. So this is that same creature that we were just looking at. And in the voice of Macaulay McCulkin from Home Alone, this is it! Don't get scared! That's... I never thought he sounded like that. But I'm okay with that, Carlo. just trying to adjust the lighting, y'all. Give me just one moment. So see, Cliff, the smaller creatures here like that one, this one right here is much more, to my eye, more resemblant of the ostracottiness that we've seen in the past versus like this mega one over here. So just for scale, and you can't see me, let me, there's the one above my head, Cliff, that we were just looking at, but I feel like these are the size that we are more regularly see, and then it makes sense. Someone's being eaten here. Someone's being eaten. Probably some kind of... I mean, there's a fair bit missing, but given the large eyes, I'd maybe wonder if it's some kind of mosquito relative or maybe even a mayfly. Hello, JP Sunset. We're working the one, the only, the most humble legendary JP has arrived. JP, how the heck are you doing? Folks, if you're not checking out JP Sunset, we're working on doing life right. JP is a legend, a breathtaking soul, maker and crafter extraordinaire. JP, are you ready for tomorrow? Are you ready for tomorrow? JP has a really important interview tomorrow. The little ones could be water fleas. They could, yeah, that's true, Cliff. I think it's just this one's size is getting me. I think these little ones are water fleas. It's this character right here in terms of the past sizes that we've looked at. But again, it might be easier with a little bit more of a look one. Top one to the right is a Daphne. Hi, Towards Night. Welcome in, Tian. Professor Knight, we're looking at some tiny worlds under the microscope. I'm good but tired. Been teaching kids for the last 2 weeks. We're in the last week of straight teaching. As for tomorrow, I'm nervous. You got it tomorrow, JP. Chat, please go give JP some good vibes for tomorrow. He's got a big job interview. Towards Night, maybe the viewer kind of updated Emma nicer than that. You might be a really nice number. You might be at a breathtaking number, Towards Night. Yeah, the weirdest Taco Bell ad sort of made me not want Taco Bell. It's just odd. McZenith, I get that. That's also one of the question is sometimes you see these food ads and you're like, wow, I really maybe possibly potentially never want that food ever again. And then it's like, who is this ad targeting? Felt like it was supposed to be me, but it's not working. We're not working yet. But yeah, it looks like we're having some eating behavior, which is kind of cool to see. Terrifying, as McZenith points out, but also pretty cool. Being broken down here. Pete Davidson? I don't even know, McZenith, who that is. I'll be totally honest with you, most of those celebrity names I hear and they go right out of my head. Like, I have no absolute idea. Winsting, thank you for flexing for JP. It's like, there's a few that I know, like Jackie Chan and Schwarzenegger and Brendan Fraser, and then a lot of them, people will be like, oh, you know, it's this so-and-so who was in this movie. I'm like, I have no idea who you're talking about. Oh, he was on SNL? See, I don't even watch SNL. Makes sense. At one point, I watched highlights, and then I decided, you know what? None of this actually makes me smile. And so then I just stopped. When they get too political is when I'm just like, I don't have any desire to watch this. Alright, interestingly enough, y'all, I'm still kind of fascinated by this creature that they're eating. Which I know is a little silly, but it's just a weird looking creature. And it's just not one that we've seen before. 4 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, 30-minute interview planned with the director of the department. Third interview, crossing my fingers. JP, in anticipation of good news. hype in anticipation of good news, JP. JP, I have very, very good big faith in you, my friend. Looks like an arachnid, count 8 legs. See, what I'm not sure of, Mick Zenith, is this body part here. To me, this doesn't look like a leg, but rather a deflated abdomen. And in which case, I'm seeing 3 legs and another 3. And then also here, this looks like an antenna, because it looks like it's connecting to the head. And then these eyes here, we have 2 really large eyes, and so those, as Cliff points out, are more insect eye rather than our arachnid. So I think for a couple of different reasons, I think we're looking at some flavor of insect. So JP, I may have freaked people out today, and you know what, JP, at this point, I just own it, okay? I just own it because I got nothing else. What else am I going to do? By the way, speaking of owning it, please go follow our amazing friend, the breathtaking Towards Night. Towards Night not only is a musician, a freestyle rapper, a pianist, a guitarist, a singer, a songwriter extraordinaire, but he also makes ice cream with nothing but his pectorals and a wooden spoon. He also, on top of that, makes Crunchwrap Supremes by wrapping up a wrap with, like, you know, food items in there, and like adding in like little nice vegetables, and then Doritos Locos chips, and then putting it into his biceps and flexing to make it crunchy. The man is absolutely breathtaking. I love your face, Towards Night. Guys, you should please go check out Towards Night. And he's admitted it. He's admitted it. It's pinned now. It's pinned now. Chat, it's pinned. Love you, Towards Night. Is the front part of a dragonfly. So a molt I would get at. So I can see it being a dragonfly molt, maybe, Cliff. Well, I haven't, and this looks to me like the ostracod right here. This one, right, Cliff, would you agree this is a little bit ostracod-y? I know you say it looks like a deflated abdomen, but there's 2 almost like feeler legs, or am I confused? So it's hard to figure out, Manadono, without like pulling my forceps and like little tweezers and moving stuff around just as where it's connected, because I have seen effects where the creature is a little bit on the deflated side and the abdomen looks similar to what we're seeing here. But you're right, it could be the legs. I would still suggest that there's at least 2 legs back there, and then another 4 in the front. So I'm counting still roughly 6. The antennae are also kind of getting wrapped into where the legs might be. So I think it's difficult to see all the different details on this one particular creature. But it is kind of neat to see what I think are the water fleas here, you know, having a lovely meal. I worked out specifically so that my pectorals can do this, and it's sanitary, I promise. Look, Towards Night, I have no question of there being sanitariness to the pectorals, sir. Sanitariness. We're just going to go with it. All right. Yeah, and Cliff, maybe the more that I look at it, this little one here. Hi, Skip! How you doing, Skip? The little one here, Cliff, the more I do a little bit of a compare and contrast between this little one and then the one that was bigger, I'm seeing and getting the more ostracod. Zedman! Hello, looking cool, Zedman. How you doing, Zedman? From now on, if you don't mind, Belinda, I'd like to tell people about the ice cream thing. You've had enough already. I'm ready. Sure, Professor Knight. Okay, Professor Knight. Hi, Zedman. Hi, Skip. Skip, I'm good. I just woke up from a nap. What kind of nap was it, Skip? Not keen on dragonflies. For that one time on a train going through a cloud of them, there were so many it was messy. Really? That would be kind of cool to see. Man, I love dragonflies. We can split it. Thank you, Towards Night. Just finished dinner. What did you eat, Zedman? What did you eat? After class? How was class today, Skip? Zedman, Skip, we're doing some microscopy, and we're looking at some pond water, and this creature is really cool. Look at, you can see the internal organs. You can see the internal organs moving around. High class frozen pizza. What kind? Zedman, what kind of pizza? Zeddy, like, what did you eat? Like, was it a meat lover's pizza? Was it, you know, a veggie pizza? Was it, did you have pineapples on it? But it says, Zedman, I got a jar. JB, thank you. I got this whole jar of pond water like a savage. I was taking little baby Alona on a walk, and just in the middle of our walk, I move. I leave her stroller. We go up to the side of the lake. I lock her stroller. I stop. I go to the lake and just start dipping these jars into the water. I'm fairly certain someone was like, Big Gamey said I should have used the baby bottle, which in hindsight is probably the issue. Chat, also, we have 2 people to go check out and follow first. And the lovely Skip the Bell, who came on in here. Go check out Skip, Woodburner Extraordinaire, and brilliant trivia legend. Guys, go check out the lovely, amazing Skip. Love you, Skip. And then we'll give a shout out to Zedman, too. The birthday boy. The birthday boy that is Zedman. Still 20x. So, Samuel, this right now we're zoomed in is 15x, but I did a digital zoom. So when I was zooming in, when we were like this, that was a digital zoom on top of that. See the internals of the dragonflies too, all over the outside of the train. Ooh. That's a bit grody. That's a bit grody, Meds. That's not as fun as if they were just out and about. First time chatter. Hello, first time chatter. Yo, man. How you doing? How you doing, Exilia? Welcome the heck in. We're looking at tiny worlds under the microscope. In particular, this little gal right here, which is suspecting might be a molt. It might be some kind of molt of a dragonfly. And see, there's a whole bunch of feeding happening here as well. Zoomy just triggered a flashback when kids' educational call. So, really, when I hear Zoom, I think towards night of Zoom Academy, which is where a lot of the friendos went to school, because everything got shut down. And that's the trigger that I get. That's the trigger that I get there. Not as much fun as what yours is towards night, but yeah. Does this thing have... Yeah, so this thing is dead. This thing is dead, Zeddy. And there's... We found what looks like water fleas that have been feeding on it. Here, let me adjust the zoom here. So you can see it looks like there's tiny little mites and ticks feeding here on... And actually, that might be a wing there if we're looking at it, not a leg. Because we were debating on where this, I think, McZenith might be a wing. Manadono is also wondering about that. So it's, there's all kinds of feeding behavior, I think, going on right now. If it's not dead, it's very unwell. This is true. You don't want it to be that sick. Mustache. Oh, Exilion, listen. Could you speak in English? We don't speak French here. So if you don't mind, or any other, actually. We do Hungarian and English here. So if we don't mind switching over to English, we'd appreciate the heck out of you. Yeah, Samuel, it just... Now that I'm having the right lighting, it very much looks like this is a wing. And it looks like maybe there's the other one is right here. Hi, Supernatural Writer, you live! Hi, Super, welcome in. I think it says you have a nice mustache. I think it says something too, Manadono, but it's one step away from something filthy. We do Hungarian. We do Hungarian. We do Hungarian. Chad, another person to go follow is the one, the only legendary, looking cool Zedman, who had his birthday yesterday. Y'all, Zedman, a full-time streamer extraordinaire.
Breaking it so we can break up.
Please go follow Zeddy.
So we can break up. Breaking it so we can break up. Breaking
Go check out the coolest looking Zedman around. Exist in a way supernatural. What happened? What happened? Samuel, there are no dyes, there are no color adjustments. All I'm adjusting is the exposure, which is the amount of light coming in through the microscope lens to the camera. So that's by this little green box. See, if I shift it over to something dark, it makes everything much brighter. If I shift it downward, it darkens things up and it makes them more sharp. But there is no color change whatsoever on this one. We did a white balance on a white background, so that's what we're able to look at. Who is this little dude? This little dude is what looks like a husk of a dragonfly developmental state, and he's being eaten. He's being eaten by a bunch of little mites. Zyla, are you lying? Zyla is lying. Liar, liar, plants on fire. Zyla. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Do we know what kind of mites they are? We do not, make Zenith. We might be able to identify based on location, given where we're catching them is like a likelihood of things, but not entirely sure where they might end up being. Just because there's only so... Oh my god, Carlo, that looked amazing. That is beautiful. Ostracods, and we had some though, right? We had some the tiny ones in there. Yeah, but here's an ostracod right here feeding. Nerduino! Hi, Nerduino. Nerduino, have you recovered yet, Nerduino? Guys, got a little more shout-outs. We do have the lovely and amazing Supernatural Writer in his house. Super, folks. Workout streamer. Gamer. Christmas tree putter-upper. Beauty streamer. All the things. Go check out the lovely, amazing Supernatural Writer. And then we'll get the Fancy Pants shout-out for Nerduino as well. Watched Ant-Man and Quantumania last night and beginning to believe it after seeing all the bizarre little critters. Nice. Was the movie any good, Samuel? Recovered from all but the Bean Boozled. Did you do any burping, Nerduino? There are mice in the water, but they look different. Gotcha, Cliff. Gotcha. Gwen, any idea what Carlo is working on? What is your specialty? So, my PhD was in molecular and systems biology. In particular, utilizing insects as a system. So communication and genetics of insects. My God, Carlo, that is beautiful. So that's over 10 years, actually probably 15 years of research in insect genetics and behavior. And then my wife, also, she worked on fruit flies, bees, cell lines, as well as... planarians as well. Zai, we deleted your message because you didn't say you're not admitting that you're breathtaking. Skip, maybe. Gwen, Skip, it's a surprise for Gwendolyn P. Because Gwen is... There's a certain style of something that Gwen is just all about. There we go. There's another one here. Cliff, it looks like we have a fair bit of this. And we actually have done some planarians experiments on stream before. We actually split them live on the stream and watched them regenerate. It is warming up, so we might be likely to catch some more planarians. But this, Cliff, to me, this looks very much like our ostracod reference image. Of course, the moment I take the picture, Cliff, it swims away. The moment I click snap, it's gone. Cliff, I just wanted to show you. Has the one eye. It's a feature that... Yes, this one is that of that stage. Let me grab Cliff a little bit. Getting a little bit blown out here. There we go. This is an earlier stage that we're capturing, so it's already gone. So I know it's Anne. Listen, Anne. So the eye actually here, this is not a classic eye, but rather it's a light sensing organ. And the thing is, they tend not to like light. And so as soon as I get them underneath the focal point of the microscope and start showing, we're trying to capture the image, they're hit with a lot more light than when they are to the sides. And that's why they zip away, because they do not much care for that kind of lighting. To be honest, I have no idea. So Med, for like what we do, so it is looking at how insects remember. Like, what are the neuronal systems that insects utilize to form memories and to communicate with each other? Like, what genes are activated and what are the neurons that are on and off during that course of time? So that's more what we work on. Does that, maybe that, Ahmed, that's a little bit cleaner of an explanation. Let me know. I'm happy to chat more about what we do. Like, currently it's ant genetics and epigenetics, but it had been fruit flies for many years, host pathogen interactions, parasitic wasps, all those kinds of fun things. Zyla, this is an ostracod, so we're looking at pond water samples. I'm trying to catch some of them. But they're being a little bit misbehaved. And here is more with activity here. Me at night, Wincing, how dare. How dare, Wincing. Chat, Wincing just wants to get nerfed. Not being kind to themselves. Alright, so as Cliff pointed out, it's a little bit of a Holy Toledo Batman. Hi, Hugan! Can I microscope a microscope and a microscope creating a microception? You in theory could. You in theory could, Hugan. You could put a baby microscope underneath a regular microscope and then therefore be microscoping the microscope. How you doing, Hugan? Yes, there's a lot of activity in this particular well. I think we might just take a little video. Then this is just in the regular old pond water sample. I didn't go any like deep in the pond water in terms of like where we dipped. It was just a regular old collection as before. Hi, Athena Cat. How you doing, Athena Cat? Welcome in. I think at a certain stage, one of those microscopes becomes a macroscope. Nicely said, Anne. Nicely said. Tired but all right. I'm glad you're doing okay, Hugan. Looks like sci-fi films with all the flying cars flying around. Yeah. Grimly! Grimly! Thank you for the tier 1 gift set to Anne made this. And please thank Grimly. Please enjoy the ad-free viewing, the emotes made with love. And remember, you have access to all the gifts and the sound alerts now as well. Thank you so much, Grimly. Far too kind, Grimly. Far too kind, Grimly. Water fleas. So, Smikes, we might have some water fleas. We might also have some ostracods in here. There are, because the other sections that we've looked at have had a bunch of ostracods. We saw the developmental stage. So if we look, this is an ostracod, and this is what we've been seeing underneath, like on some of the other wells. These little ones are moving so fast that I don't know if we'll be able to capture them with a good image. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try. Gwendolyn P, do you see what Carlo is working on, Gwen? Gwen, I hope this is bringing a giant smile to your face, Gwen. Zeddy! Zaddy, thank you for the 100 bitties. Looking cool, Zaddy. Thank you for the 100 bitties. So, Gwen, on this page, this says Ostracod. Like, that's the data from this, at least, particular place. The Marine Education Society of Australasia. If we trust that. Disappointed there's sand fleas and water fleas, but no air or fire fleas. That's true. That's true. Torrance, how dare! How dare Torrance? How dare? Thank you, Torrance, for the 100. Chat. Chat, Professor Knight.
Look at its little feetsies! Look at its little feetsies!
Athena, so I have a second jar. This one I put moss into. And, my god, is that Alright, guys, look, we have to stage an intervention. Listen, y'all, yesterday, we had a friend by the name of Looking Cool Zedman who celebrated his birthday. And we did not play him the birthday song. And now he's very sad. Folks, will you please help me and join me in playing the birthday song and singing the birthday song for Looking Cool Zedman? Could we do this, Prezzetti chat? Could we do this? Can y'all get your emotes ready and sing happy birthday to Looking Cool Zedman? He did turn a lovely 22 years old on Saturday. Had his birthday party stream yesterday. We did not play the song. Folks, in a good old-fashioned 3, 2, and 1.
It's your birthday today. It's your birthday today. There's a cat licking your birthday cake. It's your birthday today. It's your birthday today. Everybody say hooray. There's a cat licking your birthday cake. It's your birthday today. He can't read, so he does not know that the cake is not for him. No, it might be his birthday too, but the chance of that is slim. It's your birthday today. It's your birthday today. Hooray! There's a cat licking your birthday cake. It's your birthday today.
Happy birthday, Looking Cool Zedman! Zeddy, I hope it was an amazing birthday, sir. And if you again dare say that you're anything but breathtaking, we'll nerf your comment again. Don't you talk about one of my best friends like that, sir. I will not stand for it. I will not stand for it, Zedman. Chat, make sure to follow Zedman. Remember, on birthdays, follows count twice. You get double the follows on your birthday. You get double the follows on your birthday. So make sure to go follow him. Now, I'll tell you, but you've been very well behaved today towards night. I don't even know what to make of it, sir. If this is like a secret ploy and you're planning something. Alright, so there is some debate in the chat of whether or not we are looking at Daphnia or if we're looking at our ostracods. That one, that's an interesting one, is a copepod right here. This one's quite a pretty sample, too. I do like the eye spot that's present on there. Ah, thank you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that, Big Gaming. He was towards night already being naughty again. Towards night already being naughty again. He just couldn't hold it together, chat. Couldn't hold it together. But yeah, this one, now he's calling me a butt. Professor Knight called me a butt. Oh, a buddy. Oh, I thought you called me a butty. Enjoy the walk, Mom Boss Lady. As I get called a butt by one of my best defenders. There we go. And we got a picture now of it, too. So this looks like, as Cliff said, a copepod. The red spot, most likely the eye spots, Mikes. A moderator deleted your message. That's weird towards night. Ask and you shall receive. Folks, also go follow our moderator, BitGamey, game dev extraordinaire, working on a game called Homeward Hound. Yes, indeed, Homeward Hound. Prof Knight just wants to be the most nerfed person ever. Possibly. He might want to be. But yeah, the red Smikes is an eye spot. And again, it's an eye spot insofar as it's a light detecting organ, not so much a visible, like, typical eye that we'd think about. Alright. Let's continue. Only one. Yep. Same thing with our ostracod earlier, Smikes. It's not quite clear on here. But we did see the eye spots on one of them, at least swimming on around. If I had to guess, it's right there. Homeward Pound. It's a whole other type of content. That's yeah, Samuel. No. This is a family-friendly game that BitGamey works on. It's about a dog who's just trying to get home to his family. Never going towards a pound, because that's very much like that movie Homeward Bound, which I really don't like, because that one dog, it was that white and black dog, got porcupine spines in his face, and I very much hated that scene in that movie. The rest of it was fine, but like when that dog got hurt, it was heartbreaking, Samuel. I really don't like that. All right. So next little area, we do have up here. All right, Samuel, do you remember that movie? Big Game, you think we learned Big Game? Was that his name? I cannot remember his name, Anne. I just remember that one dog, like, was I was really upset as a child about how he got injured by, was the older dog you think, oh, no, the red dog, right? Oh, no, now you're bringing back all the feels. Homeward Bound, Gwen. Homeward Bound is about two dogs and a cat who get left behind somewhere, and then they have to make their way across like a state or a continent. I don't even know how far they go to get back to their owner. And it's they're talking animals, but it's like a live action movie from the 90s. And then one of the dogs gets porcupine quills in his face and like all kinds of stuff. It's a whole thing, Gwen. It's like a bushel of feels. Alright, so underside, I flipped over the stalk so it's like, should be a little bit more visible to see. I believe so, Cliff. So you can see there is the little stalks, the root systems going downward, and that's just naturally how they grow. So like right on top of the water is just like a bunch of these little petals, and I really like the ultrastructure underneath. So if we zoom in, you can see like these individual cells, and you can even see the cell wall components even without any kind of stains. Because if you were, normally we'd have to do slicing on these, but because they're so thin, you can see the outside layer of the cells. Cross the Bering Land Bridge is, I can't remember what all it was, but go for another night. Fun-filled night. We have to go. Time for, oh, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. That sucks. I know that struggle, and I think many of us do. Please take care of yourself and have a good one. Oh, that was a goof. Listen, Ann, that could be the 4th movie. They bring him back, and they have to cross the Bering Land Bridge in some way, and it's like it has to do with, I don't know, climate change or something like that. And like there's a big freeze or something. It's set in the world the day after tomorrow. It's like changes in the water levels, or it could be their ancestral selves. Like it talks about dog evolution and domestication. Oh, it's fine, Smikes. I can't finance that movie. Besides, I think we're all kind of sick of those kind of movies. Smikes, they're making a live-action remake of Moana. They just came out with Moana, Smikes. How are you gonna remake something that's brand new? Yeah, Kels, they're doing a full remake of that. They're also doing a remake of Lilo and Stitch, which to me that is more in line with the timing, but exactly. Yep, Grimly, I read that as well. It just feels early, Grimly, for that remake. Look, and the Land Before Time series. There is the great second one that has the little T-Rex baby in it. And that one was glorious. Now, was it actually glorious? No, but I really enjoyed it because there was a baby T-Rex in it. And then, I don't know, they made like 80 of them. And then they made the Disney remake, the animated version called Dinosaur, which is essentially Land Before Time. And it had like cool dinosaurs in it, but... Grimly, by the way, with the earthquake, you weren't affected, right? Like, everything was safe? Apparently you can make salad from duckweed. Cliff, if looking at these... But looking at these samples, Cliff, I would not dare touch them and bring in, like, all these little creatures, right? Don't get me wrong, I love salad, but... that might be a little bit too much. Possibly, potentially, maybe. I shall conduct a science experiment. I'll swallow a microscopic microscope, so the microscopic organisms can give... That's a lot of microscopy, Hugan. Cool dinosaurs, redundant, because all dinosaurs are cool. You're not wrong, Smikes. You're not wrong. Baby T-Rex is automatic 25%. Exactly, Ann. It's like the movies, if you have a baby T-Rex and a full T-Rex, like Jurassic Park 2, immediately 75% positive on Rotten Tomatoes. Right off the bat. And then you have a bad guy getting eaten, go straight to 100. Maybe it's because you never looked... Oh, Cliff. Cliff, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Cliff, only once have we found a caterpillar on our salad. Only once, Cliff. Actually, we were... Oh, and broccoli, too, Cliff. We were steaming broccoli, and we're taking out the broccoli from the steamer, and there was a giant caterpillar just sitting there. Or there's a villain's father-son duo, and they get eaten by a corresponding... And if it's a beautiful bonding experience between the two, like the T-Rex, father-son, killing the bad father-son, it'd be beautiful. 20 items to be seen under a microscope, dated 2021. I've seen more. Oh, cool, Grimly. And you felt it, but no damage. Good, glad to hear it. Grimly, what kind of stuff were they showing? One thing I want to do, Grimly, is I want to do a bunch of fruit. So I know this sounds really weird, Grimly, but I think fruit under a microscope is really cool. And looking at their seeds, we'll have to do something like that. And just like a bunch of other household stuff that we haven't looked at before. Just because of the textures and the colors. I think it would be kind of fun to take a look and see. Alright. Cliff, here's another one. I'm going to adjust just the focus and the lighting before we get the zoom. They're so shy, y'all. Hold on. Thank you, Grimly. Grimly, you're wonderful, sir. Alright, that's cool. You can see the internal organs and the legs moving here. The P in Balloons PhD stand for paparazzi. So, Anne, I have done a fair bit of imaging and photography, not of celebrities, but I tried to integrate into a bunch of my papers some flavor of imaging. The reason being is I feel if you can see what I'm talking about, then you're more likely to understand how it works, versus if you don't see what we're talking about, and instead you're just... If I'm just telling you, oh, this is the organ in the brain that we keep looking at, and then I don't show you a picture, are you going to be as convinced versus if I show you what it is? Even if you're in the field, right? Like, if I tell you, oh, we looked at the Drosophila mushroom body using this driver line. What that means is that we turned off a gene in the mushroom body, which is the learning and memory center of the fly brain. I personally, even though I know what that means, I'd want to see images of what that driver line looks like. Like, what is the expression pattern? Where in the brain is that actually turned on? And so what you do is you cross your driver line, which is what you say expresses in the mushroom body, with a green fluorescent protein called GFP. And it'll glow green. It'll glow green of wherever it's actually turned on or expressed. And what's remarkable about that is then you can put that in your paper and be like, look, this is where I think I'm turning off this gene, and if you look at the image, it is in fact where it's being expressed. And so even if a non-fly person is reading your paper, you can get the understanding of how that works. So to me, that's quite remarkable. Micro fMRI. So actually, so for that one, you have to do and you have to dissect and pop out their brains to get that kind of image. But there are scanning techniques where you can get the whole body of the fly and you can go through it and image it. You don't always have to have them be dead in those instances as well. It's quite difficult to do. It's a very particular piece of technology. That one is specialized. There's a lab at Cornell that they are experts on that front. Blueberry, Carlo said we're not taking a request tonight, but we'll see, Blueberry. I think next Monday we'll do another request on that one, Blueberry. But yeah, he had said earlier that the queue is closed for today. There is no Sage here. Rocket Sage isn't live right now, Blueberry. Nor am I a wizard, although I have been accused of one sometimes. Alright. This well is actually surprisingly empty. Let's go ahead and move on. Oh, we got a totally empty well. There we go. There is a little bit more activity here. Hi, Andrew. Go ahead and adjust the lighting a bit. There is some activity in this one, but quite small. Andrew who? Type Andrew. Blueberry. Exclamation point Andrew. One of our breathtaking moderators. I don't know what that means, Hugin. There's a couple of them swimming around in here, but not too many. I wonder if we'll do any better in terms of the potential tardigrades. We might go hunting for those in a moment, or we'll switch to amber. We'll see what y'all are feeling. Cliff, this might be a good spot to zoom in on these potential creatures. There are some of them, Cliff. I'm wondering if these are dead or not right now. So I catch a stream, and thank you for hanging with us. And if you missed anything that you enjoyed today, make sure to sub to the YouTube page as well. We put up the YouTube. There are intros and outros clipped out. Raids are clipped out. And you just get to enjoy the straight up SciAnts. Appreciate the heck out of you, and thank you for hanging with us today. Why isn't Carlo... Blueberry, Carlo is above my head doing very breathtaking work. Pimpcat, the ants... Do you see... Hold on, Pimpcat. I will pull up the camera. Right here, Pimpcat, is their fungus garden. And so they're working inside of there. Unfortunately, one of the queens... The Pimpcat, the queen has died. So this colony is shrinking quite rapidly. They're still cutting leaves and doing stuff, but they are not doing well. But that right there is their fungus garden, and that's where they're working on away. Yeah, so it's not a good sign, Pimpcat. The colony was about 2 years old, roughly, and it's in that like early stage where they could do well or they could just die. And the queen died, and that's that. They died without the queen because there's no one laying new eggs, and so eventually they'll run out of the lifespan and they just die. There's nothing to keep them going. Yeah, so that it's not that they die of sadness. There wasn't a question though, Blueberry. Blueberry, that's ask expression ferret. That wasn't a question. Do you want me to just have him read it? So if reintroducing a new queen quaff, they will smell her as not being part of the original colony from a genetic standpoint. Thank you, Epic Realm. Appreciate you. No sorries, Blueberry. Because they don't smell like the same colony member, they'll just be eaten. The only way you can introduce a new queen quaff and leafcutter ants is if you get a very genetically similar individual, and then you can maybe introduce them. But it has to be like the timing has to be right in the genetics as well. And quaff, so it's all dependent on odorants. And so Andrew, I did reach out to the supplier and ask if we can get a new queen. And with the new queen, we need a new colony, Athena Cat. They don't have any in stock right now, but they added us to a wait list. We spray the female with some pheromones? No, so Pimp Cat. Those pheromones are particular for a particular colony. Every colony smells different. And so there's no way, from a financial perspective... yes, Blueberry, I'm just answering your question. There's no way from, like... We do not have the equipment from a financial perspective to be able to do that. So what you would need to do is you need a mass spectrometer. The mass spectrometer would need to identify all the odorants within this particular colony. You then have to figure out which odorants are actually colony-specific odorants versus just generic odorants. You would then have to synthesize the colony, and it's just a fair bit of stuff. Like, there's no way of being able to do that from an at-home setup for it. Our ants like bees, and they choose their own queen. So, Beck, they aren't like bees. So bees they feed royal jelly to a developing larva, and that developing larva, when it takes in royal jelly, will become the next queen. So that's what you mean by choosing the next queen, right? They are not able to do that. Ants cannot do that. We think there is feeding that happens that helps influence what caste they become, but it's tied to many more things, Beck. Like, there's seasonality. So in particular seasons, they're more likely to hatch. Same with males. Both males and queens come at a particular point in the season. And so it just hasn't been worked out sufficiently enough, because we think on top of it, bees have workers, drones, and queens. Leafcutter ants have 10 castes. So there's the cutter, there's the leaf carrier, there's the soldier, there's nurses, there's sanitation caste, males, queens, gardeners, the leaf chewers, the riders. And so there's so much complexity that we hypothesize there has to be some kind of feedback loop where the nurses are feeding the developing embryos something to push them towards a particular caste. But there's so many variables that we are just not sure what those variables are at the current stage. So the research is just kind of hung up right there. But it's not as good as in visibility terms as it is for the bees. And yes, PimCat, all ant colonies and all ant species have a unique BO. Yeah. So the ants not know what to do without the queen. So PimCat, they are almost like automatons. They have in their brains behaviors that they should be doing. So they are still cutting.
This is true.
They're still cutting leaves. But what's weird is eventually you'll start having eventually they'll start different colony members will start dying out, so different members of each caste will start lessening and lessening. And then they're left with like them. You might have cutters bringing in cut leaves, but then what are you left doing, right? There's nothing even that they can do because certain workers are then lost. They do get depression. So PimCat, there are ant studies, and I actually was doing one of these as well, where if you isolate an ant, it'll die much faster than if it has friends. So if you put an ant in a box by itself, instead of living for a year and a half, it'll live average lifespan before it's the death curve is like steady. Right before the it's about 20 days. Versus if you keep them in groups of 5, about a year and a half. And there is a steady death curve that they'll go over time. But it's nothing as precipitous as that. And so it's quite remarkable how that works. It also varies depending on what caste. So a soldier versus a nurse, both the soldier and the nurse will both have that precipitous drop, but the soldier will have it later than the nurse, because it seems like size does indicate also is a kind of indicator of lifespan. But what's weird is, and I think Beck, you might find this cool. The soldiers are unable to feed themselves. They have the nurses feed them. And the soldiers tend to be the longest living members of the colony. But if they die, like if the nurses lose and die out, and you're left with just soldiers, the soldiers are going to die because no one can feed them. Right? It's absolutely bonkers of how it all works. I don't think Carlo is frozen. I think he might be taking a break. If I check my feed, it still looks okay, Gwen, but yeah, I'm not. I don't know. And then yeah, and so Beck, my research was looking at trying to analyze what the genetic factors are that dictate these castes and the behaviors. Because again, there's 10 different castes. They look different, they act different, but they're genetically, like the DNA is almost identical. And so it's like, well, how does that work? And it's all due to epigenetics, meaning certain genes are turned on and off in a time-controlled manner. So at certain times during development and adulthood, some genes are on, some genes are off. And that's what creates them looking different and behaving differently. And what's even wilder is, like, we found a gene that was really, really highly turned on a soldier and really, really near turned off in a nurse. If you turned it off in a soldier, you can get the soldier to behave like a nurse. And vice versa, you can get the nurse to behave like a soldier. All due to one neuropeptide. And interestingly enough, that neuropeptide was about intermediate level for a cutter caste. And you can make a nurse or a soldier had to cut leaves by hitting them to that intermediate mark. And it was, again, like the adult stage, all due to a neuropeptide. which I think is absolutely gnarly. So that's some of my pitch of why ants are amazing, because from an epigenetic perspective, like how genes are regulated, there's no better model organism to study, because again, the colony is near genetically identical. So as long as you're studying them together, if you start modifying in one individual, their DNA is almost the same, so you're getting almost twin or clonal studies and asking and finding differences. Yeah, if you have any ant questions, let me know. We can go into the ants. We are looking under the microscope now at pond water. We might shift over to 30-million-year-old amber. I'll put up a poll in a few minutes, or we can hunt for tardigrades, because I have got another jar here of mossy pond water where there might be some tardigrades in there. I cannot guarantee that we'll find it, but we'll take a look there as well. And you can see there's some zipping around in here. There's two ostracod-looking creatures on the top, but if I zoom out and adjust the lighting too, you can see there's a fair bit of activity in here. Although we did there was another well where we had far more activity than this one. Might have missed a step in dinner. My salad somehow became tacos. Did you put Hugin any shredded lettuce into the tacos and or salsa? Because that would be something. The weather's been good for nice pond water. Yeah, so Quoth, I actually got 2 jars of pond water. Here's our second jar. Google Docs indeed, Yuri. Let's go, chat. Google Docs right here. There's Thug Shells. She's live right now. Please go drop her that follow. She just played My Own Boss music video, which of course had the infamous Google Doc line. Chat, please go follow Thug Shells right now. Creator of the SciAnts theme song, wizard extraordinaire of all things freestyle rap. Go check out the lovely, the breathtaking, the amazing Thug Shells, folks. Please and thank you.
SciAnts. We get experimental science. We're curious, not judgmental. Always good vibes when science on screen. Time to learn life with SciAnts stream.
But yeah, Quoth, our weather collapsed temperature-wise a bit today. It had been in the 80s over the weekend, and now all of a sudden it was in the 30s. But there seem to be a lot of creatures still in here. Let's go ahead and continue finishing out this sample set. I think we're actually back to the beginning on this one, but I don't think everyone saw. Go ahead and see if I can.
Let's go.
Thank you, Gwendolyn P. There we go. Well, actually, we'll shift them over just a tiny bit.
Huge shout out to SciAnts. Science. So all of science, but especially to SciAnts streams.
Hi, Fedorasaur. Welcome in. So this is one that we were debating on what it is. It's either an ostracod or a water flea, and you can see there's some filter feeding happening. Right in there, you see that movement? It's pulling in water and doing feeding behavior. There, and these little hairs, or antlers, as Mick Zenith said, those are... Oh, there we go. It actually opened up a little bit. Look at that. Those are its feeding tubes, or air tubes. Those are called sphericals. Those are, again, like how they bring in oxygen. So think of them like snorkels on that front. Think of them as like snorkels on that front. And they're just bringing in air. So actually this creature usually stays near the surface of the water to bring in that oxygen. And this one's actually a little bit lower, but still actively zipping on around. And again, for those coming on in, I do have Carlo above my head. He's doing live letter art. Gwen says that he froze himself because he's working on a mummy-style piece. Because we are, folks, by the way, for those coming on in, we are having a Discord movie night soon. There is currently a voting station happening. There is a channel called Voting on the Discord. And on that channel, we are asking for special times that y'all would like. So either a Sunday night movie or a Tuesday night movie. It was a community goal for us to watch the cinematic masterpiece, the 1999 cinematic masterpiece, The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, Arnold Voss, Louis Noted Fair. The chat, make sure to join the Discord and vote on the poll. It's a channel near the top called Voting, and just let us know what time works best for you, and we'll get it scheduled. Probably not this week, but maybe next week we'll have it scheduled for y'all, and we'll watch The Mummy together and just hang out and chill and have a great time. Alrighty, so chat. And then here at Quaff, this was the most vibrant sample. As you can see in Quaff, when I got these, I didn't dip it and like especially deep into the water.
Together we can rule the galaxy.
Alex Dixon, thank you for entering month 4 of your 6-month gift sub and taking some towels. Alex, listen. Alex, listen. That comment, Alex, suggests that we'd ever want to get rid of you. That hurts my little heart, Alex, because I love your face and we'd never, ever, ever, Alex Dixon, want you to leave us. Alex, how are you doing? Welcome on in. We're looking at pond water, and you can see there's a whole lot of activity tonight. They're having a great time. Yeah, so Quaff, these are, so the thing is with this particular well, and I say well because we're looking at a glass dish that's curved downward, so it's like a little, like almost a contact lens shape glass chamber, and there's 9 of them on a dish. If I call them wells, that's because there are these little indents. We've seen, thank you, Traveler World. Yeah, the concave. Travel, this is one of those weird naming conventions where in science, like whenever I've done dissections, it's like you're always doing wells, is what we call them. But I know that's not a good explanation for folks not in the field, but I've just never thought about what would be the good kind of words today. Yeah, so either Alex points out there's either Daphnia in here, there's some ostracods that we've been seeing, and there's possibly water fleas as well. But in like this particular well, they're zipping around so much that I can't, like, Quaff, there's no way that we can slow it down enough where I can capture one of them on there. Some of them are running for their lives, but they're having a good time. Listen, Gwen, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Guys, I'm going to put up a poll and what we want to do next. So we've gone through these series of wells. And I want to ask y'all, what would you like to do? So, should we tardigrade hunt? Or should we look at amber? And doing one doesn't necessarily mean that we won't do the other. It's just kind of dependent on time. So just go ahead and check out and get the vote in on what y'all would like to do. Again, we could either look for some tardigrades in the other sample well, or we can do some ancient amber microscopy. Yeah, mostly not insects, but crustaceans. Yeah, every occupation has their own words. No. Travel. I know it's silly. It's just one of those where it's like I don't want to be like explaining what these are and sounding like I'm being rude. I just realized all of a sudden I'm like, oh, if I say well, that might not resonate with other people as to what that might be, and that's why I was like, oh, I think it's actually a better explanation would be if I just explain what I mean. And I'll show you all the actual dish if you would like to see. once we give it a rinse. So right now, folks, it's 2-1 on amber microscopy. But if y'all want to hunt for tardigrades, I do have this jar here, and this jar might have some tardigrades in here. So y'all go ahead and get those votes in. If it's a tie, then I start doing rigged voting.
Look at its little feetsies! Look at its little feetsies!
With the rigged voting allows you to vote with channel points. I know it drives Gwen crazy. But sometimes we just gotta do it. Sometimes we just gotta do it. Gwen's just like, oh my goodness. I go in social work jargon. Yeah, okay, awesome. Thank y'all for understanding. I get nervous sometimes because I never wanted to make it feel like that I'm ever trying to talk down anyone. So sometimes I start explaining things that are... Like, I never want to insult anyone's intelligence. I never want people to be like, we already know that, Belen. You must be saying this because you look down on us. I'm just explaining it because I feel like I might have trouble on it. I might have trouble with it. And so I'd rather other folks be, like, up front with, like, you know, either tell me straight up that you're having trouble understanding, message a mod if you're not comfortable asking. Or I'd rather just take all those out of the equation, just be explaining things as best I can. Hi, NMD. NMD, there is a poll going on now. If you would like for us to vote, you can vote on us hunting for tardigrades. Folks, if you're not checking out NMD96, NMD's on her partner Poosh, please go follow her. Amazing co-working streamer, gamer streamer, just all-around breathtaking individual, women in power streamer. All the things. I love you. Love you, NMD.
It is forsaken and forgiven, NMD. You can be instead of our destroyer, our hero, NMD. Please help us as we conquer the universe.
It's very true. Okay, awesome, Travel. That's what I'm going for, but I know it's a balancing act. I want to make sure that we're able to, I'm not doing a bad job. All right, tardigrade hunt it is. All right, we're going to go hunt for some tardigrades. What that is going to entail, I'm going to pour out this dish. We're going to rinse it out and wash it on down. And then we're going to aliquot. And I hate the word aliquot. Here is a little plastic tube that I have to get water out of the container and pour it into those little dish. And I'll show you what the dish looks like in a moment. So let me go ahead and rinse it out. And then we'll try to hunt for some tardigrades. I'll put up a prediction of will we find any. I'm trying to find it in a new way this week. Meaning it's not the same way as we've been doing. I'm pre-soaked the moss for a while now. Alright, go ahead and predict if we find a tardigrade or a water bear. I pre-soaked the moss in this larger container since, what time would have been that? 1:30 this afternoon. In theory, it should increase the likelihood for us to find tardigrades, but it's a larger... No panicking, Hugan. But it's just it's a larger body of water, so it might be harder to find. That's the only catch. So let me go ahead and rinse this. I will... Andrew, thank you for doing it, Benny's. Andrew, I love your face, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. You're far too kind, Andrew. Far too kind, Andrew. And Sebayuko, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the colony. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to go ahead and throw up this image here. We'll leave that up for the moment. And then we will, let me go ahead and rinse. Let me go ahead and rinse this piece. And, sorry, NMD. No. I'm not sick, NMD, I promise. Maybe, possibly, potentially. I don't think so. That was the debate on this one too, Quath. If it was a water flea or an ostracod, early stage. Hi, Carlo! Travel the world! Travel the world, thank you for the 200 base. No, you travel the world. You are awesome, travel the world. I will not accept anything less of that. I'll not accept anything less of that. Carlo! How are you doing, Carlo? There's a cinematic masterpiece. That is the next movie night we'll do. We'll do The Mummy Returns, Mummy 2. Looks like Wall-E. Nix, it does look a little bit like Wall-E. Carlo, why are you so breathtaking? Why are you so breathtaking, Carlo? You're very handsome, sir. As you can see, Carlo nailed the letters. He's got like the nice mummy-looking lettering with like the cloths coming off of the letters. Looks so good. Mr. Stream says Alex Vixen. The eye, the membrane looks a little offsetting. So this one here, that's its eye right there, Quoth. And it's not a true eye, it's a light sensing organ. Guys, let me quickly, I'm going to rinse this dish. Rinse this dish right now. Y'all want to see a cat? Y'all want to see a cat? Here's Barnacles. Yeah? What do you see? You say hi? Hi? People are saying hi. His nemesis is the green screen. Right? Oh, you're so handsome. You're so handsome, yeah. Boop. He's been a nappy boy. Yep, this is Barley Blueberry. Mod picks up Cluebat and Barley, leave the green screen alone. Listen, Alex, apparently he was closed in here for like an hour the other day. And Lita got him out, and she said he pushed over both green screens.
Ah! You are wholesome as ferret. Yay!
And decided to sit on them. So he pushed over both of the green screens and then sat on them. Yeah, you think you're funny? You're pretty cute. Hi, Search Michigan. I was watching the SpaceX Starship launch, and I invented a new word, America-mazing. Pretty clever. Sure, absolutely, Search Michigan. How you doing today? How you doing today? Thank you, Blueberry. He is pretty handsome. All right, y'all. Make sure to get the predictions in, and will we find a tardigrade? You think we'll find a tardigrade? Long live... Yeah. Long live the king. Wow! Because they're so... It's true, Quoth. It's true. I do love you. Yeah. All right, buds. I know, buds. I'm sorry. You gotta go. It's because your nemesis is in here. If we let him stay in here, he'll just go crazy time and just start going, "Hi, Coffee Rocks! Welcome in, Coffee Rocks!" Chad, there's Carlo! He is pretty chill tonight, Gwen. Doing good. 5th day of owning my very first game PC at age 39. Hey, Stretchy McSkin. Is it a glowing one? Do you have like the rainbow glow effects on there? That would be pretty cool. Alright. We're gonna go tardigrade hunting, folks. We're going tardigrade hunting. We've been looking under the microscope at tiny, tiny worlds. Oh, Blueberry, that is no longer active. The Easter redemptions have gone away until next Easter. What have we been looking? So we've been looking at microorganisms, and we're about to hunt for some tardigrades. Tardigrades are water bears or moss piglets. They can live in the vacuum of space. They can sustain extreme heat and temperature, all the things. And we're gonna go look for them. We have been able to find some in the past couple of weeks, but it's been difficult to, like, we're trying a new method tonight. So I got a whole thing of pond water.
This is true.
And if y'all have a microscope at home, you can search for tardigrades as well. Usually they're on mosses or lichens on trees. And so I put the lichens and the mosses just into the jar of pond water. And we're going to see if we get lucky tonight. Now, there are no guarantees on this front. We may or may not get lucky. This is a new method of trying. In theory, this should work well if we got a good density of tardigrades. Might not work at all. We do have a tardigrade animation as well. We got 2 of them, in fact. Here's one of them. We're going into the Distorter fans. We've also, for the new people coming in, we've had some looks at really, really active wells. And by the way, this is what they look. This is the glass dish that we're looking at. I told Travel the World that we take a look, and I apologize for forgetting. But here's the glass dish, and you can see there's 9 little wells. And those 9 little wells are full of the sample. I gave a plushie hug redemption. Step up that game. George, you got it. William, this is George the Penguin, okay? He is father to Robert and Willow. We're searching for Grandpa and the mama penguin. Here's the thing, William. The best one is Robert. I love Robert. And we wanted his family. So he is from the Georgia Aquarium. He is part of the Wattlesworth family, okay? And there are all the other characters. But we cannot for the life of me find the grandfather or the mama penguin anywhere. In fact, Smike's called... That's where you live. I'm originally from Georgia. William. And so I love the Georgia Aquarium. We actually looked for... Yes, I do, William. Listen, I cannot find the grandfather penguin or the mama penguin. And at the Georgia Aquarium, they've stopped selling them. They've stopped selling them. Grimly and I and Smikes, we look on eBay looking for them. Smikes contacted the manufacturer, and they've stopped continuing the manufacturers as well. Okay? And we're trying to find the other family members. I also am looking for other Roberts because I wanted to be able to do a stream raffle. Right now, I've called the aquarium, and I told them that and this was a while ago, that I am a father who's distraught because my son lost his favorite toys, which were the penguins. And they were like, "Oh, we're gonna contact companies and get you some answers," and they never got back to me, chat. They never got back to me. And so we're just not getting any luck with getting the penguin family back together. And right now I'm just looking around for some tardigrades. Again, this is a new method of looking. They are in pond water. Did I tell them I'm a highly touted PhD? No, Smikes. I rarely tell folks that I have my doctorate, especially if I'm calling for a service. Because I've seen people, I know people who do that. Well, like, well, actually, I'm a doctor. Like, you know what? You're not a real doctor, clown. And then that's where my head would go. So I'm not about to tell them that I'm a real doctor. For the listen, even for the penguins, I love the penguin Smikes, but I can't be telling people I'm a doctor. Because I'm not like a real doctor. I'm a PhD. I'm not an MD. And that's like the real doctor,
Hey, Balloon, it's time to say something nice about yourself.
I don't know. I don't know. Spikes, what is that? I have no idea what that is. Oh, it says words. It says love you chat. It says love you chat. It says love you chat. Look at that. Do y'all see it? It says love you chat. Look at that. There's yes, it does. It does. It does. That's so cool. It says I love you chat. Whoever did that, nice job.
Hey, Balloon, it's time to say something nice about yourself.
I couldn't read it. I have a friend whose name ends in
Hey, Balloon, it's time to say something nice about yourself.
and starts with an S. Lovely spikes! But also, I'm a pretty good microscopist. For those anyone new here, I have a tendency to be very self-deprecating, and so Chad has to keep me on point. Make sure, folks, to join the Discord. If there's any pictures and things that you see that are cool tonight, all of the images are uploaded onto Discord later, so you can check out all the fun things that we've been able to see. Ooh. Alright. Not a tardigrade. Which I'm wondering if this methodology is going to work for us or not. It might not be ideal. Again, we're trying out something different in terms of trying to hunt for tardigrades. I've seen this method work before. I don't know if it's the best method to do. We will just have to see. But here's another one of our ostracods, I believe. And it looks like it's feeding on actually a pupa. So the pupa here, this is like the abdominal structure down here. That's the head structure, and you can see the bodies are hanging in behind. Them arts ghost! Thank you for the lurk! Them arts ghost! Thank you, them artsy ghost. So you can see here, that is a pupa of something. There is the abdomen pointed downwards. The head is up here, and then it's being eaten by this creature. Carlo! Why does that look so good, sir? I wonder if Stream Scribe is being a wizard. Carlo, is this something that we can use, sir? Is this something that we can use? Carlo? Possibly, maybe, potentially. I could have more than one raid screen. I'd go crazy time on that. That'd be very cool. But this looks like some flavor of pupil gaze. Hi, Carlo! Chat, if you're not checking out Carlo's Stream Scribe, please go drop him that follow. He's on his partner push. I love his face so very much. Go check him and follow. Yeah, oh my god. Oh my god, Carlo. It looks like a peanut. So Quaff. We have technology. And I have 3D models. So Quaff, let's see if this is gonna show. Nope. So Quaff, here is a 3D model of a pupa. Are we going to get you in focus? Do you see how the top... So it's oriented. Come on. The top is the head. That's the head, and that's the abdomen. So look at for a similar structure on that front as well. Use the desk cam. I'm very, very bad with the desk cam. But that actually looks a lot better. Thank you, Smikes. So this is the look that we're going for, Quath. Ooh, see, I have no perception of where it is. Top is the head. This bottom part is the abdomen. And that's the same kind of feel that we're going for on this particular setup. So that's why I say it looks like a pupil case to me, because it looks like it's kind of in that orientation. I think I view it as something like this. So it's facing downward. I'm so sorry it's so wiggly, y'all. I just really have no... The camera's upside down and backwards, and I just have trouble perceiving of how to actually, like, orient stuff. But this is, my suspicion is that it's some kind of pupil case husk. Is it being eaten? Yeah, so it's already expired. The way you can tell that is, do you see, Quoth, all these black dots? Like, there's no real internal structure, so the black dots could be, like, sites of necrosis or cell death, and then the lack of structure inside means it's already dead and it's already being eaten on some level. What should Bullet use? His wits? His intellect? Espionage? The Force? His desk cam. Carlo, the Force. Carlo, something cool we're doing in the month of May, Carlo, is we're doing Science Art Sunday is going to be themed. So for those of y'all who are new here, every Sunday is Science Art Sunday. Work on new science characters. It is going to be Star Wars themed for the month of May. The month of June is going to be Marvel themed, and the month of July is going to be DC. And so I think, Carlo, one thing that would be really cool, sir, at some point, is to get like a SciAnts streams and Star Wars letters, and that could be the background, and I can put all the Star Wars characters that we make in front of it. And same thing with like the Marvel letters and like the DC letters. I think that'd be really, really cool, and then we can build the scene that we work on. Just as a crazy loosey-goosey idea. I just thought of that because we're gonna have like all kinds of like maddening stuff on there. For espionage? Not yet, Professor. Not yet. Not yet, Carlo. Quick, have your stream quality dip so I can grab the first badge again. Amateur. Oh, hi, Amateur Archaeologist. Guys, if you're not checking out Amateur Archaeologist, legendary. Nothing amateur about her. She's, in fact, a full-fledged archaeologist. There is a great... she has a redeem that she can show off all her archaeological pieces and talk about her archaeology work off her stream. She's also a professional Stardew Valley player, and she's also on the Partner Poosh. Please go drop her that follow. And she does have a first redeem on her stream. She was, Quath. She was. It drives me crazy when she doesn't stream. It makes me very sad. Because I always think that she streams Monday through Friday, and then sometimes not on Thursday, or sometimes not on Wednesday, and then I just get sad, and then I have to check and see when she's, and it's wild to me, Quaz. It's wild to me. Every day at 10:30 a.m. she's supposed to be there. Amateur, we're looking for some tardigrades. We're hunting for some tardigrades right now. We did a new method for trying to isolate them. We did find a nematode. I know, Amateur, and I thank you for what you do. I just want you to know that I miss you. And that you're a set part of my day. So what we actually see here, wiggling around, do y'all see this light wiggle coming out? Instead of 5-minute fight with a Roomba, as long as, Dee, it didn't find cat poop and drag it across the floor, then you're probably okay. Because as funny as that sounds, that does happen. So that little wiggling mass, there are some nematodes in here. We've been finding a lot of nematodes. Lately, especially from our mossy samples. And so it's pretty cool to see this one just wiggling about, out and about. Why are you fighting a Roomba? I mean, look, that's... Led, we don't need to question it. Sometimes Roombas are very rude and very misbehaved. We don't have one. We don't have one. We should have one eventually.
Where's my drink?
We don't have
What drink?
Thank you for the hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate, the Mart's Ghost. Who hasn't fought a Roomba recently? Or hasn't fought a Roomba just in general? It's a great question. I feel like everyone's fought a Roomba in their life. So, Quoth, it's a little bit misleading. There is, in this mass, there is a nematode. It's right up here. You see this wiggling? This, like, long... It's a very thin structure. Let me adjust the lighting. This always happens...
Sure, it's only Gucci.
Indeed. There we go.
Victory screech!
Like Ellie Elegans right there. For bomb merchandise? For what bomb merchandise, Crystal? Crystal, we sell no weapons. We sell absolutely no weapons. We do sell pins and magnets and shirts and mugs and other glasses and fancy pants things, but there is no bombology that gets sent. So, Quoth, right back here, this light wiggling. Hi, Allison, welcome in. This light wiggling here, that right there. Behind the heart.
Ah!
Thank you, the
You
Ghost.
are wholesome as ferret. Yay!
Right back here, and again, we see it now wiggling on this side. That is the nematode, and it's stuck in this mass here, and that's why it's using this, like, weird behavior. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nerduino. Nerduino, how the heck are you doing, Nerduino? Are you staying handsome, Nerduino? Have you recovered, Nerduino? More so for... I know you said you don't burp, but, I know the beans are still hitting you. I hope you're feeling alright, my good sir. Alright. Can you get it? So Quoth, we could pull apart. It's just in this mass of debris. It eventually gets itself out. It eventually gets itself out. I don't think we need to... Like, we don't... need to worry about it, but don't burp, don't toot. My poop smells of roses. You got... Wait, you poop, Nerduino? Oh, of course you do. Of course you do. The Mrs. Nerduino does not poop. I remember now. Apologize, Nerduino. Apologize. My memory sometimes isn't what it used to be. Sometimes, sir.
Together, we can rule the galaxy.
Melissa, you... Thank you for the... Melissa, you just resubbed yesterday. Melissa, with all the numbers, thank you for the 10 months, Melissa! We just had a baby yesterday, and we named it Jimmy. And now all of a sudden we have another resub. Melissa, thank you so much. Chad, if you're not checking out Melissa with all the numbers, please go check out the amazing, the breathtaking Melissa with all the numbers. Gamer extraordinaire.
Look at its little feetsies!
Gamer extraordinaire. We love Melissa with all the numbers here. Looks like one big massive something instead of multiple things. I think part of that, Quoth, is also due to the resolution of the scope camera. You only annually poop? I gotcha. I mean, that's... Listen, Nerduino. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And you gotta go when you can go. And you can't go any other time than when you have to go. Apparently today was my resub date. I just forgot to do it last... thank you, Melissa. Melissa... That founder badge looks really good on you, by the way. More out now. This is a nematode right here. You can see it's got a very pointy, double-tipped body, so both tips are very thin and almost needle-like. Loosey goosey cat. Neither here nor there. Hi, Nelf. Welcome in, Nelf. How you doing, Nelf? It is so the difference for the worm status Quoth is that it's much pointier at the tips, and that's what gives it that's nematode-like body. Is that if you can see, it's going to be hard to catch it because it keeps changing focal planes. This tail tip is much, much thinner, almost needle-like. And so that right there is one. And I think there's another one in here as well. It's off to the side. Always start with the edges and color sorting. Completely in love with wood puzzles now. Adding to my must-have gift list for all occasions. Nice, Mary Cat. That sounds like a blast. Thank you again for the raid. Appreciate the heck out of you. So are the needles their way? So they don't spear prey, Quath. They eat other microorganisms like bacteria. So you can give them like E. coli so they're commonly used in a lab setting because they're hermaphroditic. So normally they can self-fertilize, meaning that they have eggs and sperm inside their own bodies. They fertilize their own eggs and then they produce offspring. They occasionally produce males in times of stress if they need genetic diversification, because remember, if you're self-fertilizing, you're almost clonal, which is great for a lab setting, but might not be great in the wild if you come across additional stressors that need some kind of genetic diversity. And so they're studied primarily for reproductive reasons in a lab setting, but there are other reasons to use C. elegans as well. They're very simple. Their exact cell number is mapped out. There's about a little over 1,000 cells. About 300 of them are neurons. And their developmental map is totally figured out, like exactly from the single cell stage, every single cell division's mapped out, and what every single cell becomes is every time reproducible, and you know every time how it's going to happen. And so it's a lot of good science is done on them. But yeah, they filter feed and like small microorganisms. Primarily, their tail is shaped like this because they swim with a whipping motion. And so it's more of a motility rather than a spearing. GWS Anubis thought that they would sneak in here. Anubis, how you doing, Anubis? Thank you for continuing your sub, Anubis, that you got from Twitch Addict. Anubis, how you doing? Chat, another friendo to follow is the legendary GWS Anubis. We met GWS Anubis from the lovely and amazing looking cool Zedman. Anubis, folks, he hasn't streamed in a little while due to computer issues, but I would definitely go drop him a follow because he's got this great redeem where he just goes into pirate mode, and you can't not smile when he's in pirate mode. By that I mean like he puts on like a hat, like a pirate hat, and acts like it's just absolutely incredible. Anubis, how the heck are you doing? Allison, I'm not sure what B-alm means. Allison, not sure what that means. But yeah, Anubis, we're doing some pond water microscopy. We found here a nematode swimming around. We're looking for tardigrades. And again, I tried a different... hi, Music Girl! Music Girl, how's Music Girl Monday? And Momo is in his house. Momo is the best. How you doing, Momo? How are the puppers, Momo? Love win, Momo. And how is Music Girl Monday, Music Girl? I've got my computer back and stream room is in the process of being developed, but work has been crazy. I get that, Anubis. I totally get that. I'm looking forward to your return, my good sir. Jimmy struggled hard. That's how it went. Listen, Music Girl. Anything with Mr. B is always breathtaking. We know that. We know that. We know that. Anubis, I'm looking forward to the return. I'm looking forward to the return, Anubis. It'll bring me so much joy to my heart. Have we found Ant-Man yet? Evil Petty Mike. I'm looking for the tardigrade in the quantum realm. No luck yet, though. We might have to shift additional water samples as well. Guys, other people to go follow as well. We did get the lovely Momo in here. Folks, Momo is an amazing maker and crafter extraordinaire. She's also on billboards in Atlanta, like all over downtown Atlanta. She's up on billboards. She is a supermodel. Go check her out. Maker and crafter extraordinaire and has a beautiful puppers. Go follow the lovely Momo, folks. The tentacle thingy. So this Evil Mike, the tentacle thingy is a nematode. You can see it's flicking its tail, but again, primarily studied for its reproductive system. And it's Momo, Anubis Momo is lying. I'm just gonna nerf that comment. Can we see DNA? So worn fungus, not on this scope. We have a second microscope. That second scope is a light microscope that we can zoom in on much, much more. We can get to 600 times magnification. We are soon going to be doing a crossover stream with our friends Derek and Devin over at Microscopy. And for that, on that crossover stream, they're going to be doing experiments, and I'll be doing them here as well. And one of the experiments we're going to do is we're going to isolate DNA. There's a way to isolate DNA from, well, any kind of cell. But ideally, you're going to isolate them from cells that have a ton of copies. And there's two things that have a ton of copies of DNA that are readily available to all of us. One is strawberries, and the other is onions. And so we're going to get those and just isolate DNA. We can't put them underneath the microscope. We cannot tell if it's left-handed or right-handed. Worn fungus, under that kind of scope, we need a much higher resolution. But we can look at the basic structure, because when you isolate it, it's just so much underneath there. It's pretty cool, I think. We'll be doing that soon. Having a bullbret's amazing. Promoting yourself like that's incredibly unique, and I think it's just dope. Absolutely. And listen, Anubis, full disclosure, Momo is on the process of getting the billboard. Yeah. I thought you were going to name body parts. Not so. Fruit, Momo, those two have an obscene number of copies of their genes and their DNA. And that's why they have so many. Like, that's why when you isolate the DNA, there's just so much in there. So, guys, make sure to follow the lovely Derek and Devin of Microscopy, because that's where we're going to be doing a crossover stream. We'll be doing isolation of DNA here as well, but that'll be coming up soon. We'll be working on that. Best way to correct DNA in an adult. Worn fungus. It's going to have to be some kind of CRISPR, gene engineering, but you cannot do that in all of the cells of the body. So in an adult stage, it's too late to correct it. Function of having so many copies. So Momo, some plants are very resilient to mutation. Hi, Crooks! Crooks, you were here earlier, Crooks. You're earlier. There is a lot of... They're more resilient to mutation and duplication events of the genome. And if you have more copies of the genome, you have more expression of certain genes. That allows, strawberries to get bigger because they'll have more copies and they can turn on more things, and you can get more and more of the information that makes things bigger. And it's also just like backups. If you have a ton of copies of a certain gene, if you get a mutation in one of those genes, but you have a ton of other copies, it doesn't matter that you've broken one of them. What matters is that you'll have backups. And so those are some of the reasons for having these. Life took me for a long trip, Crux. That is no worries, Crux. Any chance we can manipulate the microbiome to switch genes on and off? We can, Worn Fungus. You can manipulate organisms to have genes on and off. It's just getting an entire population of them is near impossible. What you have to do, if you wanted to do the gut microbiome from a human, you'd have to remove the existing microbiome and insert ones that you've genetically engineered. And you'd have to make sure that you still put in a bunch of different populations of bacteria so that the person can stay healthy. Because in our gut microbiome, we don't just have a singular species of bacteria, right? There's just so many in there and different species that you have to make sure you still have that diverse population. What just swam by? I think it must be like another... It looked like another water flea or an ostracod. We can zoom out and see what all we have in here. Yeah, there's a nematode again. The nematode actually is looking quite nice. But here, this one, Smikes? Well, you can't see it. I can't. Oh, it's shipped away. Worn Fungus, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, fungus. And Mary Cat, thank you for the lurk. Pretty cool. So I love Microscopy Night too. It's there's so many little creatures. Some of them are zipping around so fast that it's hard to catch a picture of until they finally sit down for a rest. I need to work on my gut microbiome. I have half a bottle of kombucha a day. I think it was paralyzed. When I was paralyzed, the pain meds just decimated it. Yeah, Evil Petty. You have to be very careful and make sure you have a diverse population inside your gut. Hi, Astronomy Show. Astronomy Show, you look wonderful. How about chat? Go check out the legendary Astronomy Show. Another one of our science communicator friends on Twitch. If you like astronomy, you will not be disappointed. Go check out the lovely astronomer. That is Astronomy Show. Astronomy Show, we're hunting for tardigrades again tonight. We looked at some earlier pond water samples. And now, honestly, I'm just trying to see.
It is forsaken and forgiven, NMD. You can be, instead of our destroyer, our hero, NMD. Please help us as we conquer the universe.
Those were tardigrades talking to NMD96 last week. I have no idea who did the narration and the translation work. But those were tardigrades talking to NMD last week. And we were lucky to get the audio recording live. At quick glance, chat, I think we need to get additional water samples. I don't see anything present. So we're going to move over. We're going to move in new ones. No. So, Crystal, I don't know what you're saying. Sorry. Look like a triops. Gotcha. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pull up this water. We're going to pull in some new sample. Again, there's never any guarantee that we find the tardigrades. We're trying a new technique tonight. Like I gave the warning. It may work. It might not. This is a more classic way of doing it than how we've been doing it before. We'll see what we end up getting. I'm going to try to get... Oh my god, Carlo. That looks beautiful, sir. I love the yellow effect that you just threw on there. No, sorry. Only from me, Crux. Only from me. If that sounds a little bit unfair, it probably is. But I have to do. So I have 10 channel points online. We are... Smikes, that doesn't sound like you at all, sir. Smikes, you usually tell me, like, alright, Belen, you gotta go. You gotta go have dinner with your family and take care of your child. Tonight, Smikes is not having a time. It's like, sir, we are staying. Yes, sir. Alright, I'm pulling from different water populations and regions in this jar. So we'll see what we end up finding. If we have anything good in here. Alright. Let's see. Alrighty, so I was watching Jern's channel and someone called for a hydra in your face appear. I mean, Astronomy Show. Jern and I share hydration. Jern pops up here, Astronomy Show, when someone hits hydrate. So it's not out of the question that that's how it would happen. Alright, so this... So again, here's the jar that I'm using. You can see there's a piece of wood in here with a bunch of moss. And there's... Actually, you can see a bunch of critters swimming around in here. You will not be able to see a tardigrade just because of the size. So I got this particular section from a little bit more muddied region of samples. So we're gonna... It's a mess in here, right? So what I want to do is a little bit filter out to see if there is something crawling around in there. I do see we've got a couple of what look like more of those ostracods feeding up on in there. So we're going to see maybe there's some tardigrades amongst this mess as well. Again, I can see some tiny organisms down below and a bunch just swimming around. But we'll see if we can find anything in particular, like for our tardigrade. And again, I got a couple of different areas of the sample, so we might get lucky and we may find something, or we might not. We'll just have to see what we both find. Scene is here, but I didn't expect it. So astronomy show, it's not just me. He also does. There's Bardaki, I think, also comes for a beverage with Jern, as well as Captain Commerce. I think those are the two hydrate with the communities that he's got, and they're always fun to have. Yeah, community hydrate. Yep, exactly. Carlo, sir, that is looking beautiful. And I love the SciAnts featurette behind it. All right, let's see what I can find.
The spell is broken, and we live again.
Alright, so there may or may not be a tardigrade in here. The issue is this mass of moss. Carlo, that looks beautiful. That looks out. Sir, did you just come up with this on the fly? Hi, Becca. Welcome in, Becca. Carlo, how the heck did you just come up with that on the fly? Sir, why are you so breathtaking? Why are you so... Carlo, I just can't. I can't even, Carlo. I can't... Your brain is beautiful, sir. Your brain is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. He done it again. He done it again. Absolute wizard is the Carlo. How you doing, Becca? Becca, welcome on in, madame. Guys, go give the lovely and amazing Becca's Craft Life a follow. Maker and crafter extraordinaire is Becca. Doing good? Excellent, Becca. Glad to hear it. That one was a Carlo original. I love it. Hi, Proton Fig. Welcome in. Hero Astronomy Show. Hero. Finished strawberry? Nice, Becca. The TIE Fighter was really good. I really like that one. How you doing, Proton Fig? Welcome in. So yeah, we're looking for the tardigrade, but this whole moss section that we're looking through, it's very thick in consistency. And so it's difficult to actually spread out and figure out how it looks. Hi, Digital Dak, welcome in. Scored extra points this week and subjected the nephew. Their first experience of Conan. Wait, so Carl, did you watch The Destroyer or The Barbarian? I assume because you're saying first, the nephews must be younger and you didn't watch Conan the Destroyer, or Barbarian, you watched Conan the Destroyer. Which is, Chad, if you haven't seen that movie, please go check out that movie. It is still, it holds up. It still holds up. Oh, exactly. Gotcha. MS has Conan. What is best in life? GWS Anubis. You know very well what is best, and that I cannot say that here on the family-friendly stream, sir. Got your pin and sticker over the weekend? Awesome, Beck. I'm glad to hear it. Campy hilarity. It's not even intentional, Carlo. And actually, I'll have to show Lita. I don't think that Lita's seen Conan the Destroyer. Which, that's on me, Carlo. I feel like we should have watched that already. Yeah, y'all, in this particular well, I'm betting that there is probably something in here. It's just everything is so tightly bound that I can't really separate out this, like, stringy, goopy moss. But it would be a perfect place for a tardigrade to be hanging out at. But yeah, just like, even if we're looking along the perimeter, I'm not really seeing any easy opportunity for looking for our tardigrade here. Again, there's still a lot of life in here. You can see this is like a feeding frenzy for our ostracod friends. But just making out that appearance of a tardigrade is really difficult to do. Y'all, Carlo did 3 pieces. Carlo, are we done for the evening, Carlo? There's a welcome Raiders. There is the use the force. And there's also the presentation of the cinematic masterpiece. I love that one so much. It looks so good. Carlo, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make some cinematic masterpiece Antonias. And put them along the bottom. Oh, it's going to look so cool.
Bum, bum, bum. Got any grapes?
Hello, Mr. B. How you doing, Mr. B? Welcome on in, Mr. B. How has your evening been? I heard, Jimmy, that there were some issues on Music Girl Mondays. I heard, Jimmy, that maybe things didn't go super easy in the game. Chad, if you're not checking out Mr. Jimmy B93, I think Live Right, Mr. Jimmy B93 is one of the most handsome people in the state of New York. He is also a professional gamer extraordinaire and musician. Please go follow Jimmy B93. Streamscribe says, and with that, my good man, I must depart. Always a pleasure. Carlo, will we have you back on Monday? Possibly, potentially, maybe. Chat, the Streamscribe is our regularly standing Monday collab. When we do Microscopy and he does live letter art with us, please give him a round of applause for being here with us, for spending time with us, for taking time out of his busy schedule to do artwork on the stream. The man is an absolute myth and a legend. Carlo, thank you for everything you do so we can be here doing what we do. I cannot tell you how much I love Microscopy Mondays because you're here with us and you do live artwork, and it's just, I love your face, good sir. Big claps all around for Carlo. And we'll give you your fancy pants shout out, my friend, in just one moment. Once the cooldown has finished, of course. Life Lesson Music Girl definitely takes better pictures in OG Snap than I ever will. Listen, Jimmy, Music Girl is breathtaking. Don't ever question it. Don't ever question it, Jimmy. Don't ever question it. Au revoir, Monsieur Carlo. Oui, oui, voulez-vous. Alright, chat. It's true. It's Jimmy. It's the most true and it's the most fact, Mr. Jimmy B93. Chat. I'm gonna queue up Carlo's shout outs. It still, I think, still has a moment or two on the cooldown. But once those cooldowns are done, y'all make sure to go follow the Streamscribe, aka Carlo, who is again an absolute legend, a legendary streamer extraordinaire. We love the Streamscribe here. Let us go and look through the other wells and see if there's any better opportunity. I keep seeing these, kind of translucent critters, and it's the right coloration for a tardigrade, but again, it's like there's so much other activity going on here. This one's just going to be tough to actually get any visual in, so it's good to know that we have the ostracods, but finding our tardigrades is that much harder. Alright, let's see. In this well... we definitely have more nematodes. I'm going to clear out a little bit of this well as well. Because... there's more of this sticky goop. And the reason I got the sticky goop is because I thought it might be a good feeding area for the tardigrades, because they tend to eat these little microbes and algal samples. So, guys, go check out Carlo, the stream scribe. But Jimmy, I'm doing all right. It's been a good day. It was a busy day, but it went well. Little one and I went on a lovely walk, as we always do. Nothing too wild, though. So we have more nematodes in here. And again, Quoth, you'll notice it's stuck in this weird jelly-like material again. It's trying to get itself out. So there it is. Right there, you can see the pointy body. And it's just doing that flinging behavior to try to swim out from its particular site. Maybe that kind of view is better. There's another one, its tail. But nothing too clean in any other way. And usually our tardigrades are slow moving and tiny. Here again, I'm not sure what these other Barbie features are, but you have more of our nematodes swimming around. Actually, I can adjust the lighting a little. There we go. So you can see it's kind of curled its body through a lot of these different facets. And it looks pretty. It's just hard to make out what exactly is going on in there. But at least we're getting some visual on it. Continue looking, folks. Maybe we'll make out and identify some tardigrades. I'm not feeling too hopeful for tonight. I think what we'll have to do, y'all, is go back to the old style. So the difference that I did was I put the sources that we were getting from the mosses, instead of putting it into a small dish, I put it into a large container. And I wonder if having it in the large container is just, there weren't enough tardigrades to be able to identify them. Like, it's just not population dense enough. But that's okay, we learn, folks. We'll see there's a massive stuff in here as well. I'll clean up. We'll try to get a little bit more clarity here. this one may be tricky as well. Ideal environment. So Anubis, if you look outside and there's on the trees lichens or mosses, or even on the ground, those tend to be really, really good spots to farm tardigrades. And that tends to be a general rule of thumb for wherever you are. So even like where you're living or I'm living, if that's what you look for, there's a good likelihood that you're gonna find one. It can't be too cold because they go into like a dormant stage, and so it'll be harder to find if you're looking at like, you know, wintry times. But we've done this in the past, like last week. Again, I got very similar moss samples and submerged them in water. The only difference is instead of having them in this larger jar of water, I put them into a really, really small, like, little well and submerged it and soaked it. And so I think that's the big difference, is that maybe there's just not a high population of them right now. And with the lack of the high population, we're just not able to catch them in large numbers, and so there's just not enough. There's some kind of wiggling something here. Not a tardigrade, but a small little creature right here. And again, the problem is, like, there looks like to be some kind of sand in this particular well, and the body color of a tardigrade is like this Anubis, like this kind of see-through, opaque looking structure. So it's a very unique coloring and like pattern that we're looking for. It's also a very distinctive movement, but we're just not getting any good luck with this tonight, I don't think. On the plus side, again, like, we're still seeing a lot of creatures. But let's see, next well. Yeah, y'all, we're just totally striking out on the tardigrades tonight. Although this is interesting. Cliff, I don't think we've seen something like this before. I think either this is a husk, like a molt. I think this is a molt of one of our creatures that we've been looking at earlier. I think the movement that we're seeing isn't from the creature itself, it's from this other little character here, but it looks like a molt of, again, something that we've seen earlier tonight. I think it's pretty cool to be able to see something like that. Oh. Hi? No. What can I do? Hi, Risto. Rez, how great you are, sir. No, that's you, Risto. No, you, Ristorok. A copepod ghost? Maybe. I think given it looks empty to me, Cliff, so my bet is, it's just a molt from earlier. Alright. There is a nematode down here. Chat, I'm going to zip through these other wells. I think it'll be time for me to be wrapping up for the evening very soon. Just give me one moment, y'all. Go hang out with the wee lassie. Let's see, though, if we can find any tardigrades. Smike says we can't leave. Again, we're full on nematodes, and I know where the nematodes are coming from. The nematodes are from the same sample as where we should see the tardigrades. By the way, guys, go check out Rock. The tardigrades should be at the same area, so it's the same mosses that we saw last week that were giving us the tardigrades. Also gave us a ton of nematodes, and not in the pond water, but we're not getting the tardigrades tonight. So just a little. Again, I think it must be a population density question. I think if we had gotten a denser population, I think we'd be doing all right. I think we'd be looking much, much better on this. But no, thank you, Risto. Risto, we're just not finding our creatures tonight. We did find a bunch earlier, Risto, so we were doing all right. It's just the tardigrade front. But lesson learned, I think. We'll find some. Maybe not tonight, but definitely again next week. And again, there could be some hiding in some of these samples. It's just so difficult to actually make out if anyone is in there or not. Yeah, again, and these, I mean, they're really pretty. These little sand granules, y'all. But it's hard to make out with that background. Like, there's a creature up in the top corner here. And one here as well. So there's a couple of little creatures. It's always easier to see, actually, with the microscope setting. But like their transparency is just very much in line with the background, and it's just hard to make out what exactly we're looking at. And just nothing really there. Let's go sleep. I want to say, Colony, your hearts are beautiful and you make the world a better place. Now you, Towards Night. Towards Night, Professor Knight, sleep well. Thank you for embracing the ice cream. I love your face very much. Astronomy Show, good call. Open it up. This one in theory should, it's hiding, of course it's hiding. So here's a tardigrade image from last week. They were swimming around over here. So they have the little feet sticking up. So the feet are going up in this case. There was the back, and then there was the mouth. And we got a couple of good videos actually even swimming around. I hope we'll be able to get a few more as well. The videos are actually pretty good quality. They're on the Discord, but not so much on this one. Again, there's some creatures in here, but not any kind of wild amount that we have. But still really cool to see. Andrew, Sir Andrew, thank you for the 200 biddies. Andrew CZ. Andrew knows I'm causing chaos in other places. Hi, Bean. Hi, Celestial Bean Art. Bean, did you see me causing chaos as well, folks? If you're not checking out the legendary Celestial Bean art, not doing live, right? Another amazing artist extraordinaire. Go check out Celestial Bean art. And hello, Neuralicia. How you doing, Neuralicia? We're doing some microscopy tonight. To be rounding out our evening. Let's see. And unfortunately, Neuralicia, we're on the hunt for some tardigrades, but not finding Jimmy! Thank you for the 100 biddies, Jimmy B93. You amazing soul, Jimmy B. Thank you for those bitties, Jimmy B. Extremely handsome, Jimmy B. Extremely handsome. Yeah, Neuralicia, we're just looking at these samples now, and I think there just are not enough tardigrades in the original sample to get a good enough density of these. We did find a bunch of other animals, but no tardigrades this week. Last week we found some, but I tried a different methodology today. Which again, if we had a dense population, it would be... Risto! Risto! Risto, thank you for the tier 1 gift sub. Risto to Evil Petty Mike. Evil Petty Mike, please enjoy the ad reviewing and the emotes made with love. Appreciate that, guy. Thank you, Risto. Thank you all for taking on the item. Oh my god. Anubis! Anubis, thank you for the 1,000 biddies, Anubis. My goodness gracious. Andrew, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gift subs. To Invisible Dimensions, to Sunday Driver, to Maria Martin Derb, to Postman, Pimp Cat 44, and Andrew. Wait, hold on. And GWS Anubis with another gift sub to Daybreak Stations. Thank you so. Y'all are absolutely wild, and thank y'all so much for the choose. Silly V! The biddies. Thank you, Silly V, for the 100 biddies! Chat. Y'all know what we do when we get hype trains here. We start doing raffles, folks. Let me very quickly put away the pond water, and we will do our raffles. For every level of a hype train that we complete, we do a raffle of either stickers or magnets. If we complete a level 5, we'll start doing raffles of hard enamel pins and more. If we do complete level 5, I usually put on a ferret onesie. That will not happen tonight because we are going to be raiding out soon. However, if we do complete level 5, we'll start the stream on Wednesday in the ferret onesie, because we wear the ferret onesie for 30 minutes after a hype train that hits level 5. So chat, that's what's on the menu. Let me quickly jump over to the other train, or not the other train, the other chair, and I'll show y'all what you can win. Until then, let me quickly set up the raffle. Exclamation point raffle to enter into the raffle, chat. And it'll be, again, stickers, magnets, and more. Let's quickly bag up the microscope. All right, excellent. Excellent. So exclamation point raffle, we will be doing at least 2 raffles because we've completed level 1 and completed level 2. Here are what are on the menu. Hi. Thank you. I got scared. Anubis, good. Oh, good job on catching the fish, Anubis. Oh. So, magnets, Twitch Words magnet, or the SciAnts partner magnet. The sticker of Kevin playing the drums. The tardigrade playing the sousaphone. The Antonia playing guitar. Or the holographic Twitch Words sticker. If you want the golden one, you have to spin the cookie wheel. Otherwise, chat, you can pick which one you want if you win. The golden one is the only one that's behind a spinning wheel that you have to spin for. And there's on the wheel, you have all the other Twitch Words stickers. Jimmy Music Girl playing, we have no chance. We have no chance, Smikes, unless everyone also goes follows our SciCom friendo, the amazing and breathtaking Neuralicia. Chat, make sure to go follow the lovely and amazing Neuralicia, who is a neuroscientist extraordinaire. Go drop them a follow. Go drop them a follow, chat. But exclamation point raffle to get in on the raffle, folks. Anyone can enter. You do not have to have contributed to the hype train. You just have to type exclamation point raffle, and then please send me your mailing address if you do win. Again, the Twitch word sticker. This one, it's made up of words that represent the stream and the Twitch logo. As a magnet and a sticker, and other things that you can pick. So those are on the menu for hype trains. We'll also quickly review the images that we've gotten tonight, because I think we've gotten some really, really good ones. And then, yeah, we'll round out the evening. It'll be all kinds of lovely, chat. At least I think it has been. I've had them. Silly V, how are you doing, by the way? Silly V, I hope you've been having a great evening. I enjoyed your stream very, very much so. We'll give you a fancy pants shout out next, Silly V. Doing great? Awesome. Guys, Silly V is an amazing Gartic phone artist. Y'all know how we play Gartic phone? Silly V does Gartic phone pieces, and they are it's like you can't tell it's Gartic. It feels like it's just an amazing, stunning piece of art, like done on a fancy pants canvas. Man's an absolute legend. Go check out Silly V. Chat, thank you all again for the hype train, for all the kindness and the love and support. If you want in on the raffle, type exclamation point raffle to get in on the opportunity to win some either stickers or magnets. We're going to be pulling the two people. And if y'all are ready, let's go ahead and hit it. All right, first sticker goes to, in a 3, 2, and 1, folks, Astronomy Show. Astronomy Show, you have won the raffle, Astronomy Show. Astronomy Show, which item would you like? You can pick either the 2 magnets or the stickers. If you want the golden sticker, you then have to spin the cookie wheel. Otherwise, which one would you like, my friend? And guys, please go follow our friend Silly V. Please go follow Silly V. Nothing silly about them beyond being amazing. Like, good kind of silly. It's not like weird silly, like I am. What are you feeling, Astronomy Show? This one? The ant partner? Awesome. You got it. Astronomy Show, please DM me your mailing address, either on Discord or on Twitch Whisper. Okay? And we'll get this shipped out to you this week. All right, number 2, folks. Number 2. Let's see who wins number 2. In 3, 2, and 1. Neuralicia! Neuralicia, come on up to the front of the classroom, Neuralicia. Neuralicia, what would you like, madame? Would you like one of the magnets, or would you like one of the stickers? Neuralicia, congratulations on winning either a magnet or a sticker. All the things, in fact. All the things, Neuralicia. What would you like, madame? What would you like? Let me know all the things. Again, partner ant, or Twitch Words magnet, or the Kevin sticker, Tardigrade sticker, Antonia guitarist sticker, or one of these Twitch Words. You got red, green holographic, purple, and then a golden holo as well. Let me know what you're feeling, Neuralicia. Let me know which one you like so I can write it down, and then I'll just need your mailing address via a DM, and we'll get this shipped out to you. Hi, Dork Chop. Yes, Dork Chop. Antonia sticker, you got it, Neuralicia. Alrighty. Alright, ma'am, if you would not mind, for both of our winners today, Astronomy Show and Neuralicia, please DM me your mailing address either on Discord, or if y'all wouldn't mind sending me on Discord or on Twitch Whisper then we will go ahead and get you get it shipped out to you as fast as possible. Okay? Alrighty. Alright. Chat, we'll do a quick review. We'll do a quick review of all the things that we looked at today. And then we'll rate out for the evening. Hope you all had fun. Let's go ahead and we're looking under the microscope view. So we actually did get a couple of videos today as well. So if y'all want to check out any of the videos or images that we collected today, they're all on the Discord. So make sure to join up on the Discord. There's a whole section called Microscopy. Images, everything that we take, all imaged and put onto the server so that y'all can enjoy all the fancy pants, you know, images that we take. And they're free to download, free to use for whatever you want. We just ask you don't sell it. So we found some developing possible ostracods, water fleas, as well as nematodes were the primary things that we found today. A lot of different samples of. We zoomed in on some of these samples, in particular these fine hairs. Those fine hairs we talked about are the sphericals, or the breathing apparati of these animals, and I think they were really, really cool to see. Especially they're like snorkels for the animals, and it's neat to be able to see stuff like that zoomed up. It almost looks like that antler-like consistency, but not quite an antler. So I think it's really cool to check out something like that. And again, it's a nice thing to see, like, such a zoom on that front as well. At least I think, anyway. They do kind of look like neurons with their branching patterns. Yeah. We saw a bunch of ostracods and/or water fleas having feeding behavior today, which was really cool. We found a couple of decaying critters, and seeing them be eaten was, I think, a pretty cool thing to be able to see and hang with them and just like what they're up to. We also, chat, found some smaller developing ostracods as well. Hello, full fat Milky. How you doing? Hope you're having a great evening. We're just looking at and reviewing some of the images that we saw today. Saw some copepods as well. You can even see the red eye spawn on here. Not really regular eyes in terms of like seeing everything, but rather they are like light sensing organs. We then saw the underside of some of these mosses. Saturday running a paper for the last 9 hours, full fat. Get up and get some stretching in. Nothing worse than just sitting still all day. And another one of these ostracods. So we found a fair number of things. Did we find a tardigrade today? Unfortunately not, folks. I know some of y'all had faith with 646 channel points on the line. Correct answer, unfortunately, is a resounding no. We did not find any ostracods today. Not that we didn't want to, folks, but we just didn't have any luck with them. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully next time we'll be able to find some additional ones. I think what I'm going to do is change around how I did the collection. Last time we did the collection, it was much more straightforward, and I think just because the density wasn't very high, it made it a little bit more easier to identify. And so I think that's what we'll end up doing in this next run through for next week. We also didn't get to any amber tonight, but so I think to counter that, we'll start with amber next week and then move into pond water afterwards, if that's okay with y'all. I think that's what we'll move our sensors towards. That's what we'll do, if that's okay with everybody. All the sweeter victory. I know, but see, Neuralicia, it's weird because, like, I know we got the exact same fungus and moss from last time. So in theory, we should have found something. I just honestly think it was that there was too much it was just too much water to tardigrade ratio. I think that was honestly the slowdown there. So that's why I think we didn't find any.